What's up, y'all? Kofi Kingston here, and I would love to have a drink with Wrestling on the Rocks, depending on what that drink is, preferably non-alcoholic, you know?
How's it going, Celtic Warrior Damon?
Soda.
I would love to have a drink with Wrestling on the Rocks.
Maple syrup.
Fella.
I would never have a drink with Wrestling on the Rocks.
Welcome to the first episode of Wrestling on the Rocks. That's right, the show where every show is our first show, and we're running back episode 1 again. We do not get to episode 2 until we get this right. We are perfectionists and horrible at it. So we remain.
That's correct.
At episode
1. Oops.
Guys, I am at Ref Marsh. This is at WOTR the show. With me, as per usual, we got at Crybaby Klump. Say what's up, Klump.
Yo, what's up?
And newly added to the graphics and the intro, complete with animation, at Amanda Jane with a Y. Say what's up, Amanda.
Hi. How y'all doing? If you look at the graphics, there's something really cool. There's like a hidden, it's almost like a hidden Mickey. Can we call it a hidden Ricky?
Oh, yeah.
It's a hidden Ricky. It's our own version. See, yeah. I'm all about the theme parks. So see, there you go.
That's a good
Where's
point.
my damn
good point.
Where is it, Pink Pop?
Did you show it to him?
No, not yet. No.
Okay, I was just curious. Just in time coming through. What's up?
We were gossiping, so no.
Very good. Very good. Wait, you guys were gossiping?
Me and Ricky. Yeah, I was
okay.
getting some gossip. Yeah.
All right. I won't ask for the deets.
My ears are burning.
Everybody's ears are burning. Yes.
Guys, let's start with the usual. What's in your glass, Klump? What are you drinking?
I got water, just water. I've had a lot of coffee today, and I've also had like the worst stomach bug because of eating shitty food. So water's great.
Yeah. Sometimes you gotta clear it out. You gotta clear that palate.
Oh, it's done itself. This is just replenishing with water. I have nothing in my body. Yeah.
Are you doing the Panda Express cleanse?
No, it's the Filiberto's nightmare.
Oh. Yeah, once a month I like to do the Panda Express cleanse, and you go 2 entrees and a side, and you say all 3 chow mein, and then you're good.
Oh, yeah. Then you'll be orange shitting.
Grim Reaper coming through.
Why did that get a fucking laugh?
Because it rhymes, man. I like a good pun. Amanda, what's in your glass?
Guess what, folk? It's the return. Just for probably this week only, because I'm home. But the non-sponsored, sponsored Sonic in the summertime.
Finally. Sonic has come back.
Has come back.
To Wrestling on the Rocks.
And how many shots are in that Sonic?
Yeah.
3.
How much?
But 3 of us. Yeah, 3.
Here we go.
I was gonna say, how much Sonic is in that shot?
There you go.
That's what we're talking about. That's a more appropriate question. And this
how much ice is?
This voice is producer lady on the side that you won't see. And thank you, Just in Time, for subscribing on Twitch for 5 months. It's awesome.
Oh, buddy.
5 time.
Thank you.
5 time. 5 time. 5 time. Hell yeah. Cheers to Just in Time. And I am having Woodford Reserve Kentucky Straight Rye Whiskey.
Wonderful.
Apologize for not.
Hey, just as a heads up to you, this is a local thing. I think they have that on clearance at Albertsons in town. Like I saw a crazy amount of Woodford Reserve bottles at the one on the north side. Yeah. And yeah.
All right. I mean, no, this is good to know. No one go. The shelves will be cleared by tomorrow afternoon. I promise.
Is that double barrel?
No.
And
what's up?
And we also now have a sponsorship.
Yep. We have a sponsorship. We're not drinking it today, but we did drink it this morning. We have a sponsorship from newwave.co, NOOWAVE.co. They have a promo code for us and for you. The cool thing about this is they're currently doing a big sale right now anyways, and it's almost a third off. But with this promo code of Cheers, you get an additional 10% off the top of that. And they do have different plans, so you can buy just a bag. Then the promo code does not work with the subscription, so I suggest getting a bag, getting it for cheap by getting your code. And once you fall in love with it and you decide you really like it, go back and you can get a monthly, every 6 weeks and every 2 months subscription basis, and they'll just charge you and send it right out to you like a lot of those box things. But at least this time you know what you're getting and you know it's going to be good.
And what's so special about this coffee?
This coffee has raw cacao. It is specialty grade coffee that includes raw cacao and L-theanine for productivity and creativity. It promotes better energy, focus, and mood more so than a regular cup of coffee. And I will say that I feel as jittery when I have it, but I am very much more awake. So I'm digging it. I like it. I tried it before I even tried to see if sponsorship was even going to be an option. I just wanted to try it because something notable. This company is owned and ran primarily, and by primarily I mean entirely, by an indie wrestler out in Florida who trained under Lance Storm.
Oh, wow.
Goes by the name
Wow.
Brody Vice, and he's a really good dude. Really cool thing that he's doing here. And talked to him after I had it and said, hey, this is absolutely outstanding. I would love to keep a bag on the table. See if you have any issues with that. And he said, not only is there no issue with that, but let's go ahead and sponsor the show. Let's do something together. And I said, let's do it. And that's what we're running with. So
Yeah, I'm actually buying a code right now, or buying one right now.
Oh, I was gonna say, has Klump tried it? That was my next question.
Yeah, I was actually initially gonna say, you didn't give me any, but yeah.
right.
I
No, if they
don't
had
drink
sent me a
alcohol.
case-
Literally, I drink sparkling water, fucking water, and coffee.
Oh, yeah.
And you lush. You're just like, oh, I'll keep this. This is mine.
Yeah, can you imagine? They sent us like a case of like 30 bags, and I was like, hey, Klump, you should go buy a bag. It's really good.
We go through
Hey,
as much
Amanda, you want a
coffee.
bag?
Yeah.
This house goes through as much coffee as it does booze. So
Yeah.
Oh, that's a
Yeah,
lot.
we go through it. And so I was actually really excited about this one too, because like I said, indie wrestler and it's coffee. So like we keep saying, it's not about what you're drinking, it's about who you're drinking with. And what do we drink on this show just as much as anything else? It's coffee. Hell, half the time I'm having a mixed drink, it's mixed with coffee. So I was like, this is it. So how great, how fun, really cool stuff. Like I said, check them out. Get a shirt, get a mug if you want. I believe the 10% works on all one-time purchases, not on subscriptions. So just so you know. So buy a bag, find out what you like about it, and then get your subscriptions after that. So the only other thing I had as far as housekeeping goes, besides the fact that we got new t-shirts all the time and you should go check them out, is we did talk about on Tuesday real briefly, Capo Cagna is... we just talked about them in general, just to support them. Sign up for their newsletter. It is a wine that is run by Carmella from the WWE, and we really like the wine in the house. We have a ton of bottles of it. We go through a ton of bottles of it. But something they're doing this month, which we forgot to mention because we didn't realize it till after we got off the air, 20% of their sales this month are going to the Trevor Project. And the Trevor Project is set up for crisis
awesome.
intervention and suicide prevention for LGBTQ youth. So they're supporting Pride Month, so support them, support Pride Month, and also, yeah, just go give them a like and subscribe and all that, and the little things help small businesses. It's CAPOCAGNA, which is Italian for boss bitch, which I think is awesome.
Oh, interesting.
capocana.com.
Capocagna.com and newwave.co, NOOWAVE.
So
All right.
did you guys try the Bellows wine?
Yes.
You haven't tried this one yet.
Capo, we have tried.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Oh no, we have many bottles.
There is a reason why
Oh.
we only bought one. We bought the Bellows wine once. And then, but we did.
Yeah.
We bought it once, and we were like, "Oh, this is fun." We drank it when we watched Evolution, and we were like, "Okay, this is a fun little thing." But it was what it was, and we did not feel the need to pursue that further. But Capo Cagna, I believe I've personally placed at least 3 orders of varying bottles.
Oh wow.
I think the last one I got was a 6-pack, wasn't it? 3 and 3, or was it the 12-pack? It was the 6. And then I think the first one was a 3-pack. So yeah, we like it here. I mean, I keep waiting. That's the other thing is the producer here thinks it's a special occasion kind of wine. So like the bottles just sit here, and I'm like, if you don't drink it, I can't buy more. So
Yeah, it's my little special wine. It's Carmella says it's not for wine snobs.
Oh, okay. So it's kind of like the like a Boone's Farm ish, but not. It's
No.
classier.
it's much classier. It's closer to like a
Yeah.
Pothic. It's a really smooth,
Oh,
really
okay.
nice wine, but it's not an expensive wine. which is why she says it's not for snobs. It's not for the type of person who's like gonna break down every note. It's just, do you like wine? Do you like to not spend a ton of money? Can you put ice in this wine if you want? Yes to all of those.
Nice.
But you can also drink it straight.
Make it slushy.
Yeah, it's more than apothic, but it's not gonna like break you.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah,
Wonder
but
where
she's
it's
not
from.
trying to
The
get
only
it
reason
graded.
why is because, y'all, I live in the wine country. Yeah, and you know what? The Bellas, it's kind of disappointing because the vineyard that they got their grapes from is a really good vineyard.
Is it?
They do not own the vineyard, by the way, people. Just FYI.
But also Capo, it is Carmela run. It's not like she's got this whole team that she's saying do everything for. Yeah, no, she is running it.
Yeah, and the Bellas were more of a face for a thing we noticed. But yeah,
just
Carmela's absolutely running it. So just want to throw that out there. We just thought it would be cool to know. Once we realized that we didn't talk about how it was a part of the Trevor Project, we thought, well, we got to at least go back and mention that. So
That's awesome.
yeah, it is Pride Month, and we support all that stuff. So absolutely. Did you guys want to talk about anything else we need to talk about before we just get into the news? Get in. You guys go with the news?
Jump in.
All right. I'm excited to know
Unless you wanna
how you
promote-
felt.
If you want to
Promote
promote, our buddies over at told him TWT.
Oh,
Sure.
okay, yeah. TWT Takes, TW Takes podcast.com/TWTs. You can use the promo code. Well, he was going to change it, but right now I believe it's still Unsuck at Klump because of how good Klump did last week. He was very excited about that. So it's Unsuck at Klump, one word with a K, and you can get, I believe it's an additional 20% off his already low prices, which are low. And he's already got the shirts all there in his house. So when you order it, he bags it up, gets it out the next day. It's really incredibly fast shipping, and it's ridiculous. He actually sent me the tracking on it, and it arrived the day after he sent me the tracking on it. Or it was the no, I think it was the day of. He sent me the tracking and goes, hey, it should be there Monday. But he'd sent it like the day before, gave me the tracking the next day, and I got it that evening. And I was like, oh, that's actually here already.
Whoa.
So
He's
it's 20,
in the chat saying 25% off.
Yeah, Bishop's here. He says it's 25% off actually on his already low prices with incredibly fast shipping. So, and a really comfy shirt. So we should throw that
They
out.
are very amazing shirts. Like I love them.
They're so soft.
I was surprised at how comfortable it is. When I first put it on, I was like, all right, I'm going to put it on and go sit outside and smoke. And as soon as I put it on, I was like, I might just go back to bed. This is comfy as shit. So
I feel bad. The white one kind of became like a sleeping shirt because it's just like this is a snuggly shirt. Thank you,
It is.
TW Takes.
It is. It absolutely is. So good stuff. I just want to get that all out of the way on the top of the show because as you guys all know, we start to get really into the weeds here. We start to get pretty drink happy. And by the end of it, I can barely remember our own Twitter. And so I do want to just say that stuff up front. Those are all those things. So check them out. Support everybody. Support the little guys, man. So
Damn right.
Yeah. I'm glad that you got that bag of coffee right now, too. Dude, I think you're going to like it. When I had it, I was like, wow, this is good.
No, I'm pumped. Yeah.
Awesome. Everybody let us know how you like their coffee in our social medias. Guys, let's talk news. Let's get into it. News.
Doop.
So I guess we'll just start with the big stuff. And you don't get any bigger than Braun Strowman. WWE did a lot of releases yesterday. 6 people. Braun Strowman, Lana, Santana Garrett, Aleister Black, Ruby Riott, and Buddy Murphy. All released. I'll say, we've talked about it before when they have the big releases, and we always want the best for everybody, and we do. And I do feel that there's always a silver lining to this type of stuff. And I do feel isolated on Twitter when my initial reaction isn't to yell and scream and have a temper tantrum and prove how much I hate Vince McMahon as some sort of sign of loyalty or respect to the talent. And instead, my mind goes a whole other way. And I feel like, am I alone by thinking these people are all so good and talented that I'm not concerned about them? Like, I don't feel like, oh no, this is the end of the line for them. I feel like, oh no, they're all so good. This is just going to be the start of a new chapter for them, which in a lot of respects is very exciting.
Yeah.
So it always sucks. It always feels bad. You never like to hear someone got let go. But let's also not pretend they're all so terrible that this isn't going to go well for them. They're going to continue to do great stuff, I think. But I think what I want to say before we flip it over to Klump, the thing that's most surprising about these people were actively involved in storylines. Aleister Black
Yes.
just
Yeah, I
made
was
his
gonna
return.
say. Yeah.
Braun Strowman just had a big main event, or not a main event. He had a big main match with Shane McMahon at WrestleMania. Like you don't beat Shane McMahon at WrestleMania if they don't have plans for you.
You can pre-order a new Aleister Black shirt on WWE Shop that is yet to come out. Like
What?
Yeah.
Well,
Yeah.
you know what? I just save your money, people, and I'm pretty sure that
He's also releasing a
Tommy
shirt.
End will have a shirt at
He does.
He
my
does.
friends at Black
He
Craft
does.
Cult. He'll return to that.
He did.
He already
released
does.
it today.
Oh,
Today
he already
released
does.
one,
Well,
so
hey, see, there you go.
yeah. But
There you go.
I mean, but that's a great point, Klump. You can pre-order a shirt that hasn't been made. Aleister Black goes on Twitch after he was released and said that this was really surprising to him that he just got started with a Dark Father gimmick, or storyline, I should say. I apologize, and that he was set to return this Friday, tomorrow. Unless you're listening to this the day we drop it, then tonight, then to really launch that storyline with him and Big E that was set. So the idea that he even said Paul Heyman's been behind him, Vince McMahon's been very supportive and has really liked him, and has been behind him. The fact that Vince McMahon's always been behind Strowman really feels like there's other forces at play here that we're just not going to understand. But Klump, you had a lot of stuff you wanted to say about all this. Go ahead.
Yeah. Well, first, I'll echo everyone for sure. We want these people to succeed in the best in their future endeavors. And yeah, everyone here seems like talent that are going to do great. They're people that any promotion would achingly desire. So I'm excited to see what happens next, who goes where. Then after the shock, a bit frustrated because with the releases that have come, and there have been a lot of releases in the past 18 months, there's no lying there. More and more, there's been a lot of people throwing out, well, what is this? WWE has said that it's due to budget cuts, but a lot of people have said that is it WWE looking to sell? And we don't know. And I think the reasoning I've seen so much as to why it's being sold is the same reason in my eyes that you would also cut budgets. WWE's stock is more stable now than it's been at any point since its IPO, and it's also at the highest point it's been since the IPO, with the exception of 2 years ago. They had a couple crazy spikes when they started getting massive influxes of money from the Saudi deal, the Fox deal, and kind of going forward. They didn't have a big jump with Peacock. They didn't have that, but it's been stable, which has been good. However, beyond that, like, a lot of what has been said is that the reason they want to sell is they're trying to liquidate assets to maximize profitability for them and shareholders. The shareholders are doing fine, especially those who've been there longer, because if you bought WWE stock 4 years ago, you've had a huge return on your investment just in 4 years. It's done fantastically, and it's staying there. I think more to myself, it speaks to cutting costs makes a lot of sense. They've lost a crazy amount of revenue in that they're not doing tours and they're not having any live fans in attendance. In wanting to do tours, they're going to have to increase costs pretty dramatically, pretty rapidly to gear up for that, because they've had essentially that whole mechanism of suing just sitting. Additionally, they don't have really any pay-per-view structure. We hear it time and again about how audience viewership on cable networks is dropping. Pay-per-views even more so, especially since they've done the network. They have everything through the network and now through Peacock, but that's very different in terms of a revenue stream. And then to me, just I keep thinking about that spiking and then pausing. As a company that's publicly traded, you want to truly increase profitability, not even for sale, but for your shareholders. And with all of these costs, the idea of cutting costs makes a lot of sense. So I that's my view. I don't think they're selling. It doesn't make sense to me. I think it's truly, in my eyes, it could go the other way, and it makes more sense to me that it's just cutting costs. That's just my view of it. I kind of got frustrated and went way too deep in it because I saw so many people saying for sure they're selling, and with very little backing other than just straight saying WWE wants to maximize profit before they sell, which this also totally makes sense for the other reasoning as well, in my eyes. I mean, I may be off base there.
Yeah, it's hard to say really what their plan is, what they're going with. They definitely spent a ton of money on the Thunderdome. They saved a whole bunch that first quarter. They weren't traveling because they just didn't travel, you know? And then they spent a shitload of money on the Thunderdome.
Yeah.
Then they added a bunch of fucking pyro to Thunderdome and stuff. Like they've rebuilt the Thunderdome even. They made it bigger. And then now that they've got this was like their third Thunderdome.
Oh, is
now
it?
they got because they did the first one, and then when they rebuilt it, they made it a little bit bigger, and then they redesigned it for this last one, and it's even bigger.
That's what the difference is now then.
But then it's like, now all that literally just goes away, right? Because what are you going to do? Travel with the Thunderdome? Like, it doesn't make sense. So you just have this loss of money that you spent, but they made a bunch. I don't know. I feel like that it would take an accountant to really look at it and make those judgment calls. I think the surprising
100%.
bit to me is that they let go people who are currently being utilized for things. So it's not like they're letting go people who they're not using, and therefore it's a budget issue. You know what I mean? Like Braun Strowman was in the main event of the last pay-per-view. He was in a triple threat, and he was amazing in it. He's
somebody they strapped a rocket to.
Yeah. Aleister Black, like you said, just released a new T-shirt. They don't even know how much they're going to make on that guy yet. You know what I mean? Like, to say that, I mean, you cut costs because you don't expect a return of investment on it, and I feel like Ruby Riott. I mean, I don't know. You look at all of them. Lana's in a tag team that was just in a title defense or a title shot the other day. Go ahead.
And I think a lot of them were improving. Just, Lana was training a lot with Natty. You could see the improvement. We even got one over. We weren't a fan, and she won us over. And, Alistair's new story. Braun Strowman's looking great. He's doing better on the mic. I just felt like there was so much improvement happening that, people were getting more excited.
Yeah, after that Lana special. And we even said it on Tuesday, the day before. We're like, hey, Lana and Dana did look a little bit heavily choreographed, but they also looked really clean in there. And it wasn't the Lana we've seen before where it's like clunky and weird and like you expect a little bit more. It was like, no, she's doing really well. She just has to work on making it look a little bit more natural. But everything looked good. She looked like she looked the best she'd ever looked in the ring against Dana Brooke, who also gets those kind of critiques from time to time as well, who also looked the best she's looked in a long time. So it's just really, I don't know, it's really confusing. It's really weird. This is the most confusing set of layoffs I've ever seen. Amanda, what did you want to say about this stuff?
Well, the first thing I thought, and I am like you, I'm like, oh man, you think about, these guys, I mean, they're all going to bounce back unless you're, a horrible person. But it's true. But my big thing, and it's totally selfish of me, was like, I could finally see fucking Tommy End. Love to see Eurotrash because I missed that one bowl up, but that was the selfish me. And then also thinking, man, wouldn't it be great, if Tony Khan picked up Lana and he and Miro and Penelope Ford and little guy Kip, little guy, at a program. That would be kind of cool, because obviously Miro's kind of going away from that best man thing, because I'm like, obviously that's run itself to the ground. They're married, whatever. But things like that. Ruby Riott totally shocks me, to be quite honest, because on the indies, I thought she was amazing. She was like probably at the time, I think, before she was signed, she was like one of probably the top 7 women that were on the indies. And I think WWE had signed the majority of it. Obviously the ones that they didn't sign were people like Tessa Blanchard, and I think I can't remember who else was in there, but I mean, they signed most of them, and a lot of those women are gone now. So they returned. I mean, the first was Kimberly, and then now, all these other things. So it's going to be great again if you like women's wrestling, because it's obviously uber competitive, and they definitely want to everyone wants to compete with, what NXT has. So there's a lot of really cool possibilities out there. So I'm excited for that. I'm excited for what it might bring. It better bring me a theme park eventually, because shareholders, that's money. That's money. And my other thing is too, and I've actually had presented this to somebody, but the most expensive cost, well, there's two things. One, when you're traveling on the road with musicians, that's the way they make their money, because of all the merchandise and the sales of the tickets, things like that. So, but the ones who have it, play it smart, where they really work with people who know travel and not somebody who's, oh my God, I want to be attached to, whatever promotion. And, I'm a travel agent. No. That happens with certain promotions with 3 letters that start with a A. But, if you have someone who really knows what they're doing, they could, really have a lot of savings, because there's tricks of the trade. So I'm not saying that I'm offering my services, but I'm just saying that, that's a great way. If shareholders are like, I got to cut costs down, if you're going back on the road, that's your cost saver. But also it's like, well, maybe you need to dumb down some of your production value, because if you don't have the money, you don't need like, I don't know, thousands and tens of thousands of dollars of pyro, you don't need all of that shit. Yeah.
I saw someone point out that last year alone they had 300 signed talent, and 78% of them did not make it on TV during that year. So I also understand the idea of potentially having to cut fat that way, because we had people added to the board. They have Nick Khan over there. There could just be a general new mentality to how you keep talent. Do you hold on to them for 5-6 years before doing something big with them? Or do you bring in people clearly with a plan? But the thing that I think is most shocking about these is I don't feel like it applies to anyone in this list apart from maybe Santana Garrett, just because they hadn't used Santana Garrett much. But she's been a big player in every promotion she was in before this, and she was really good. And to me, had quite a look. I was like, she looks like a star. She looks like someone that you wonder what they're up to. Who's this person? The kind of person walks into a coffee shop in California and you go, I don't know who that is, but I feel like I should get their autograph or something. You know what I mean? Like, she stands out. So it's just weird to me.
Yeah, Braun. I still can't believe that one, because when I saw Braun, I'm like, no, someone's joking. That's not true. No way, not Braun. Yeah. No.
All of them were on TV in the past week, except for Murphy.
Yeah.
Although Marsh brought up a good fantasy booking, I would love to see Braun against Hammerstone in MLW.
Absolutely.
I'd like to see Strowman in Hollywood. I'd like to see some movies with Star Strowman, where he's just like a bad motherfucker or something, or a bus driver maybe.
He's got a lot of charisma. I think one thing that could help him out of this, though, is it's a chance for him to get out of the very narrow space that he's been booked in. His character. We've made jokes, and it's certainly gotten better, but he still isn't but a few steps away from. He's got to be this absolute monster who has to talk in the most gruff, aggressive voice, when he's got a rather, it's gravelly, but he's got a rather concise, pretty cool Southern accent, and he's a good talker. Like, it's interesting to see him do interviews where he's, Adam versus Braun. I think he could do a lot. I'd like to see him in Hollywood. I don't know if I'd like to see him in MLW, but anywhere I'd like to see him be something new,
Yeah.
Even NWA, I think. Yeah, NWA I think would be a good fit.
He fits NWA a lot.
Yeah, just because of when you think of that Southern style, that's the first thing, Klump, when you said that, I'm like, NWA, because I think that he would fit perfectly kind of in that mix. And who wouldn't want to see him and Aldis go at it, and Aldis losing, but
him and Trevor Murdoch.
Oh my God, yes.
Actually,
and
yeah. Because
Yeah.
Trevor's such a
Really?
classic wrestler, and he's got the WWE experience as well. And I do think there's something to be
Yeah.
said for the WWE level of experience. I
Mhm.
think Trevor is a vet, and even though Braun is not brand new to this, I don't think he's the
Mhm.
vet that Trevor is. I think they could have a great time together.
I think
Yes.
that would be great. The matches would be just stellar, I think. And so hopefully, I don't know if Billy Corgan, I don't know how much he listens to other people besides himself, but consider that.
Well, I will say Strowman did make a comment a year or two ago where he said that he would never wrestle for anyone outside of the WWE. He just flat out he said,
Well.
the second I'm no longer wrestling for Vince McMahon, he goes, I'll hang up my boots and I'll find a new career path. So we'll see if that's true too. I mean, that's also a possibility.
I hope not. I truly hope
Yeah.
not. I think he's got a lot more to do, a lot more of a story to create. I'd rather not see him disappear.
Well, that's why I'm kind of fantasy booking him to Hollywood. If he really does have an issue with potentially wrestling with someone else, maybe if nothing else, take a year or two off in Hollywood, do some stuff, and see if you miss it. And if you miss it enough, maybe you do come back to someplace and maybe
Yeah,
make a huge
maybe-
splash then. You know what I mean? But we'll see. We'll see. I
That's
don't know,
the
man.
third Furious 11.
Yeah,
you know?
yeah. He can play the
Play
way
the
John
bad
Cena
guy.
played Vin Diesel's brother. Braun can play
Yeah.
John Cena's brother. And we'll just keep going down the family lineage.
No.
bigger
He'd
and
have to be
bigger.
a bad guy. I would actually,
Bigger and
with
bigger.
Braun, I'd see him more of, he's some relative of Jason Statham of somehow.
Oh,
Yes.
That's how I envision that line. Okay. Yeah. Call me. I have ideas for the Fast franchise.
Him with a. I'd like for them to give okay, we're gonna have you do an English accent, Braun. Uh-oh.
Uh-oh.
Cheerio.
Oh.
Oh no.
Just in time is in the chat. He says the budget cut excuse is really starting to get pitiful the more and more they use it. And I will say that as much as we don't want to hear the budget cut excuse, I mean, that's all a business needs to say. And at the end of the day, sometimes you just say that because the reality of the situation is not as easy to stomach. And so we don't always know either. So, I mean, I'm not saying that they're bad people and that's why they're getting cut or anything like that. But sometimes by saying flat out, hey, we're letting you go for something stupid is not the discussion you want to have. I will say that at least they're saying something. AEW let several contracts expire the last couple weeks and just silently don't say a goddamn thing. At the very least, WWE puts out a statement saying they're no longer here. We wish them the best. AEW has quietly gotten rid of like 10 or 15 talent since they've started, and they've never once made a single comment about it. So,
And even Earl Hebner, too. They finally took him off the website.
yep.
That I
And
think they did
no
today.
future endeavor from AEW because the bottom line, they don't give a fuck about anybody there. They're not a family. No business
You
is
know
a
what?
family. If you think you work for a
Yeah.
family, they're taking advantage of you. But
Yeah.
AEW doesn't
But-
give a fuck about your future endeavors because everyone's the enemy to them. Whatever. But the other thing Just in Time saying is Tommy N to NJPW, please. Sure. They kick over there. He can kick.
I want to see him, Jeff Cobb. Braun and Jeff
that'd be-
Cobb. That'd be a
Braun?
great one. Mm-hmm.
That'd be
Good
cool.
house battle.
What about Tommy End and NJPW? Who do you want him over there with?
He has to reunite with goddamn Zack Sabre Jr. I mean, I love those guys. Obviously, Marty's not going to be joining them, but, I'd like to see him go to Suzuki Gun.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think he'd be really cool paired with Naito. Just
Oh, yes.
yeah.
Yes.
just as a dynamic with that
yeah.
somebody
But they
who's a nihilist versus somebody who just doesn't care.
Well, yeah, but, they don't have any gaijin typically. Like even the original Los Ingobernables. Yeah. So, but that's a really cool idea. I love it. Love to see, Tommy End versus Shingo Takagi. Holy crap. That's another really awesome match. I mean, there's so many really cool ones, but I think that would be a great little spot too. But I was going to say about the budget cuts too. I'm wondering, just out of curiosity, how much WWE, how much they say or they count on the average fan in attendance at a show, how much they spend besides, obviously the ticket, and then, what are they spending? So for me, when you don't tour for a whole year, you've got, you're missing all of these extra things because, most people don't like to shop. There's a lot of people who don't like to shop online. And I think there's probably also a big portion of their fan base too that I think, I don't know. I just don't think that they're technologically savvy or anything like that. So I really don't see how, a big portion of them, it's probably been hard because I'm pretty sure that it's got to be at least like $165 is what the average person per person will pay when they go to a WWE event. Collector's cups, all of that stuff. So now I'm curious about other promotions too, like AEW. Well, yeah, that's probably a lot more, and I'm sure in that figure, they're figuring that you got to buy one of Cody's philanthropy shirts and, whatever. So yeah, but I think that's a really good question to think about when you're saying budget cuts. It's like, okay, well, what are you expecting? Like, what's the spend you're expecting from people? So, I get it. You paid a lot of money for the Thunderdome, but nobody's paying, no fan is paying to be on that. Now, had they did something that the fans would, you pay like $5 or whatever to sit in the Thunderdome, that would have been a cool idea. I think they probably should have done something like that. Because then at least they're getting.
It just depends. Bottom line, none of us are the accountants or have a copy of their ledger, so we really don't know why. We were just trying to talk about costs that they had versus costs they didn't have, because they talked about how they were saving so much money. So what's the need for the budget cut? But at the same time, we don't fucking know. We don't know their books. Bishop's in the chat. He says, anytime you cut an expense that costs more money than it makes you, it's worth the excuse to say budget cut, which is true. Or at the end of the day, if all you have to do is free up a certain amount and that's the number that you're hitting, and those are the people that hit it with the least amount of people, you know what I mean? Like, maybe that's just that. We have to hit X number of dollars. What's the least number of people we can let go and hit that and not release, these Magic 12 who are on TV every week, and maybe that's it. Maybe if they were to not cut one of them, maybe they would have had to cut 2 or 3 more people. You know what I mean? We just don't know. But it's what's the least amount of damage with the most amount of savings, I suppose. But it is a bummer. Grim Reaper does say Tommy End versus Moxley for the U.S. title under NJPW, not AEW. Actually, I think that'd be amazing. What were you gonna say?
I agree with that. I agree with that. I think also, I to that point that it seems like an excuse again. There's a lot of reasons, and we've said it, that it could be legit. It's just, it's a company. A company's not liable. As much as we want transparency, no company, the biggest to the smallest, is going to tell you, yeah, we're really suffering here. Especially if you're publicly traded. If you do that, you're just shooting yourself in the foot, because when it comes to profitability, when it comes to shareholding and stuff like that, saying we're overvalued, we're fucking up, we're not doing well, we're really going to be struggling in the next 3 years is hard to do. I would say also, when we talk about like weird releases and stuff, I don't think they're going to be getting another, like, we don't know what large chunks of money are coming in. They're in 2 pretty big contracts with 2 very large entities for an extended period of time, as well as the Saudi deal, that's ongoing. Where else would they get streams of income that were that large? You get what I mean? So they're not going to say anything, but I could see cutting budgets, that being a big part of it. Is, well, these are great throws of money and that helped us do a lot of stuff. They're not coming anymore, and we foresee a lot of expenses. Fuck it. Let's fix this.
Yeah. Could be. It's just hard to wrap our heads around in general, because we're not in those meetings where those decisions are made, but it does feel like there's definitely more to it than just what we see on TV, right? Because if Alistair and Braun are saying, yeah, Vince was always behind me, Vince loved me and stuff, then you can't just say, well, Vince just decided to fuck these guys today. There's got to be other factors that we just don't know, and we're not gonna know. But I do have the unpopular opinion, apparently, I'm not mourning these people's careers like it's over for them, because I do think so highly of all of them that I think they're all going to be just fine wherever they land. And I think that they have the ability to make that decision for them as well. I think they've also all been there long enough that they could easily have saved enough money to not need to do anything that they don't truly want to do moving forward, which makes it even more exciting. I think this is a really exciting time for all of them. We're going to see what it is that drives each one of these people and who they really are, and I think that that's very exciting. And I think that they all have the most amazing choices ahead of them. You know, it's one thing to punch in every day and say, "What am I doing today, boss?" and throwing ideas out. It's another thing to say, "Where do I want to do today? Where do I want to go?" You know what I mean? Yeah. What's exciting to me, and that's exciting to me as a fan.
I like what Tommy had said on his Instagram at the end, like the last little line of his little blurb was, rest in peace, Aleister Black, and Tommy N. I mean, at the end of the day, I mean, it's hard to say. It really sucks because, I mean, everything that his wife went through and she wasn't on TV, and then all of a sudden she resigns and now he's gone. And, because I remember we talked about that on episode 1 about, she signed, and I'm like, whoa, like what made her come back? And now it's kind of like, man, because he was on the shelf for a while too, along with her. So
what?
Don't understand contracts. That's not what we do.
Producer wanted to throw something out.
You know that Brandon person on Twitter who likes to look at the numbers in the business side of WWE?
Okay.
He was asking for non-wrestling articles about the Lecos. There's not much.
Yeah.
So it's kind of like, to the general public, this isn't this big uproar.
Yeah.
Yeah, nobody knows what's going on. Just wrestling fans are like, what the fuck just happened? And it's just because all these people were utilized so recently. Like you said, a T-shirt, I think it just went off pre-sale today, but it's been pre-ordered after he was released, and the shirt was on pre-order. You know what I mean? Like, he was literally in a 5-week build-up with vignettes on the way in there. Like, these are clearly people they were using recently. Riot Squad was on TV less than a week before then. Lana, too. Like, it's just hard to say. It's hard to understand, and I think that we're all just trying to grasp at straws and come up with anything we can to rationalize it. But I do think what's more exciting than blatantly overreacting or overreaching or trying to hatefully virtue signal, as they say, and just scream out, "Oh, fuck you, Vince McMahon, I can't stand Vince," and just understand a lot of this stuff is kind of out of our grasp and out of our knowledge. Like Bishop says, we also can't spend their money from those deals. So at the end, I think all we know is that we don't know. And it's not like we're making money on these deals either. But like I said, my speculation is what's next for them, because I think that there's a lot of potential there and a lot of talent there. So it's really weird. People are literally like crying. How could this happen to them? What do you mean? I mean, Braun Strowman tweeted out too, and he goes, "What a chapter in my life. Thank you all." And it's also like, yeah, dude, you beat Goldberg at WrestleMania. Holy shit. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, he could just sit down and have a drink tonight and go, "I beat Goldberg at WrestleMania. It wasn't perfect, but I did that." And how fucking cool is that? So, yeah. Wish the best to all those people. Cheers. We'll see you all down the road, I'm sure. Klump, did you have other news that you wanted to talk about?
I think that was my big one. I didn't have too much else.
All right. Amanda, you had something you wanted to bring up?
Oh yeah, I only saw this on Twitter, but actually I saw that Billy Corgan, I think it might have been today. If I'm wrong, I'm sorry. I don't listen to Busted Open or whatever that show is that Bully Ray does. Anyways, he had Billy Corgan on, and actually there's a Twitter little 2-minute little video, little clip out there, and they asked him, Billy, what would it take to topple the WWE, and can it happen? And Billy Corgan obviously is a big believer in everyone needs to band together, and of course he's benchmarking, of course, our lovely friends over at AEW, which I'm like, they have partnerships with everybody. But at the end of the day, I mean, what's been the big payoff with it? Because the other companies, I don't think, have benefited. I think of all the companies that have had something with it, I think that NWA is the only one that had benefited for them, because some people probably now watch NWA because of Thunder Rosa.
Yeah.
Because she's still, doing that. So it's really interesting to me that he said that, in the future, yeah, it's going to be these small players that you're seeing now, at the top. And he says that NWA is going to be at the top, because he still believes that old school is, the new school, but, is what it is.
Clearly isn't.
No.
I mean, like, you can't tout AEW and also say that old school wrestling is what's going to bring back a revitalization of wrestling. There's literally nothing close to old school style wrestling anywhere near AEW, and it's doing fine. Also, that whole question is exactly why I don't listen to Busted Open.
Yeah.
Your question is, what is it going to take down to WWE?
Yeah.
What the fuck good does it do anybody for any of these companies go out of business? You should be asking, what is it going to take to get another company as big as WWE? What's it going to take to make another brand that big? And how's it going to happen in wrestling? Because how do we get two WWEs should be the question. Not how do we fucking destroy one of them? The fuck's the matter with you?
Let's make MLW and NWA bigger.
Yeah. What if MLW and NWA join forces? Maybe we get a real third brand. Maybe we get something that can compete on the level of AEW. Maybe then they can all merge. And then you get something that does turn into a big transformer, which becomes something as big as WWE. Why do you want to take any of them out? Why isn't there enough room for two separate styles of wrestling that a bunch of people love? If we used to have 10 million people watching wrestling and now we have about 2.5, why would it suck if we had 6 million people watching wrestling, but it was split down the middle? Yeah. Why is that a bad thing? You know what I mean? Is my head at my ass, Klump, on this one?
No, I agree with that.
Is that pointless aggression? Check out our pointless aggression shirts on prowrestlingtees.com/wrestlingonthorocks. George is saying in the chat, though, he was champ this year, so that's sad. I agree about the releases in Strowman. It's sad that they all got released. It's always sad when someone you like is not going to be on the show that you watch anymore, or someone you respect loses their job. Super sad. But can't grieve forever. No, I'm just kidding. But at the end of the day, I only feel sort of sad. It's a bummer. Yeah, it's a bummer. It's a bad day, but it's not the end. It's not the end. You know what I mean? This isn't. You don't got to grieve for them like they're dead forever. You grieve for an after. It's a bad day. You go to the bar. You have a beer. The next day you go, all right, cool.
It's a breakup.
Yeah, it's a breakup. Zippity doo dah. You know what I mean? Bluebirds chipping on my shoulder. You know what I mean? Right, Klump?
I agree with that.
What's going on? Yeah.
You need a little blue bird on the shelf behind you, because then it'll look like there is a blue bird on your shoulder.
Oh, that'd have been good. Well, I got Sasha Banks over there. Sasha got blue hair.
Yeah, well, Becky behind you has her SmackDown shirt on. Little
That's
Becky
true.
doll.
That's a good point. George will say, if you're a wrestling fan, you probably watch everything. I would say the yes and no. I think you watch more than one product if you're a wrestling fan, but I think so much of what's out there right now is so different than everything else. I think it's absolutely the kind of thing where you can find the things that you enjoy more than others, right? And I think that it's also fair to not watch certain products if you don't enjoy it. If people love AEW and they hate WWE, fine. Don't talk about WWE, talk about AEW, talk about what you love. That's kind of what we do here. That's why I stopped watching AEW. I just wasn't having fun watching it. So I stopped watching it. Started watching MLW, love it. Was watching NWA before I had to pay for it, loved it. Now I got to pay for it? I don't know anymore.
AEW will rebound. I swear they will rebound. They will.
Yeah. Well, we'll see. We'll see how it all goes. Take says,
Just gotta
don't
get
have a
rid
blue
of Don
blazer figure.
Callis.
I do have a blue blazer figure. That is kind of a blue bird. But, yeah, I mean, it is a little weird that the question is, hey, how do we take down the WWE, and not, hey, how do we get as big as them? Because they're in a whole other atmosphere. They are not a wrestling show twice a week. They are a huge global brand with training centers literally all over the world. They have different brands based off of the country they're in. They're literally worldwide. They're literally a brand. It's a tab on Peacock. It doesn't say wrestling. It says WWE. So why can't we get other companies to be so big that their brand is just that synonymous?
Mm-hmm.
Even indie wrestlers out here. We know somebody who was it? So Kevlar's aunt was all like, "Oh, hey, one of your cousins is a WWE guy," and he was like, "Wait, what?" So we were like researching all these WWE guys, trying to figure out who his cousin was. Well, turns out all it was is that one of his cousins wrestles on the indies out here, and only out here. He doesn't travel. He's literally just a wrestler in Tucson. But they see a ring, they see that he wrestles, and he's a WWE guy because WWE means wrestling to them. So the question should be, how does AEW get to be as big as WWE?
Kleenex.
Yeah, they're Kleenex.
Yes.
But
they're AstroTurf.
yeah, exactly. So how do we get more things that way, right? All of it should be that good. Instead of saying, like, how do we tear down the biggest fucking company that does this? The biggest success they've ever seen. How do we tear it apart? Why would you want that? If WWE goes under, you're not going to find a huge wave of people saying, well, I guess I'll just watch AEW then. That's just not going to happen. So it's just weird. It's just a weird question. All right. Well, do you guys want to talk about Double or Nothing?
Yeah, let's go into a little bit. Yeah.
Klump, there's anything that we were missing that you wanted to throw in there?
No, I'm good.
All right. Let's talk about it. So, as per usual, I did not watch this pay-per-view. Although I will say that I had the opportunity to watch this pay-per-view. I've watched every other pay-per-view except for 2 of them, I believe. This was one I had the opportunity to watch that I would not have had to pay for. It was going to be a friend watch-along sort of a deal. But after the last one, and after the last couple months worth of TV, I felt, and looking at the card, I felt absolutely no inclination whatsoever to waste my time on this pay-per-view. I would rather do other things, and that's what I did. I did other things. So I did keep up with it on Twitter as far as like what was happening, what the results were, to catch interesting news. Amanda did watch this whole thing. Klump did the Reddit route of keeping up with updates that way throughout the day, and I think we were all happy for it. I will say, I stayed in my group chats that watch everything AEW, and they were overall more happy with this one than the previous one. But according to the numbers, and we only talk about the numbers sort of, this one did less buys than the previous Revolution one with the Exploding Deathmatch. This one had less buys. But it was still one of their top buys. Like over the year, it's like the second most bought one, second to that one. So they did lose some, but not a ton. And I thought, interestingly enough, just to throw it out there, their Friday show got barely 500,000 viewers. It was 500-something thousand, which I was surprised at. I thought they were going to be much closer to the 7 or 8. So it just goes to show you got to stay on your nights, man, I guess.
Yeah, even tomorrow. I mean, I get it, NBA playoffs. You know, obviously, you know, me, I don't have a pony in that race so anymore. So not like I like basketball anyways, but you know, yeah. Whew, where to begin? Well, you know.
Well, go ahead. You take over,
Hangman.
This is your segment.
Yeah, let's talk about Hangman and Cage. Now, I think go with Hangman. I love Hangman. Don't get me wrong. I don't think the AEW uses him in the way they should use Hangman Page. I mean, had he stayed around Ring of Honor, I know Ring of Honor is shitty right now anyway.
Wait, wasn't this on Friday?
Friday?
Was it? This wasn't on a pay-per-view, was it?
Yes, it was.
Okay.
Yeah, because Friday I got denied this Ricky drinking with pearls on.
Oh yeah.
What the hell? Tony Khan, your camera people suck.
Oh, yeah,
he was there, he's just chilling on the ring post, drinking. And by the way, just here's a little gossipy thingy. This is the only one I could probably tell you guys. But when Hangman handed him the drink, that was apple cider. What he was drinking the other night he was a
Thank
little
God.
upset that they didn't want him. He wanted to drink tequila because he's a tequila drinker. They
Yeah.
wouldn't let him do it, so he was actually drinking Jack. So, just there you go. But
That's funny.
anyways, backstage info. But
Nice.
the match actually with Cage, I was shocked. I mean, Brian Cage has a certain style that's,
Je ne sais quoi.
Yeah, it's like, it's just there. But him and Hangman I thought had a really good chemistry. Obviously, we saw our friends with Team Taz, actually not Will, because obviously Wobbs is in the casino battle royal or whatever the hell it was. But Brian stood his ground. Like, he did not need any of their help. And Hook tried to get in there, and Ricky threw the FTW belt at him, and he was yelling to hit him, and Cage threw it back at Ricky. He was like, no, I'm not. I'm doing this on my own. So obviously
He's on his own.
lost.
Against the Wow.
And there's a lot of tension now, more so. And I believe that I said on episode 1, remember how I was saying that, I thought that, Ricky was going to be the one to split.
Yeah.
Well, I think it's probably going to end up being Cage more so than anybody.
Yeah.
So I think that that's what they're leading down to. Now, do I want to see a Ricky Starks Brian Cage match? No, because that's going to be boring as fuck. It's eye candy, but half of it. Sorry if you think Brian Cage is hot. Hey, Brian's a cool dude. He's good people, but yeah, no. I see that happening. Maybe at All Out. Yeah, All Out. That might happen because it gives Ricky more time to heal his injury, which I personally thought that they was probably faking it, because you never see him with a neck brace.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm like, where's your neck brace? I was going to bling one out for you. And he's like, damn, you should have done that. Anyways, so but when they were arguing, Cage looked like he was going to go get physical with Ricky, and he was like, nope. Remember, broken neck. It was really great. So it was fun. And I think Hook probably is going to be in the ring soon. I predict that. So he's good. He's got a mean ass suplex. So I think he'll be in the ring soon. So
in the chat real quick, just in time to say I'm probably the only person that felt the Double or Nothing wasn't as good as everyone said it was. I think part of it is, well, Fabtina says you're not a blind fanboy, which is true. But I think part of it also is this one appeared to be overall not a disappointment. And I think that in and of itself made it better than their last number of pay-per-views. They've had a lot of big failures on pay-per-views, and this one did not have a big failure at the end. And so I think a lot of people were like, this was great. They didn't mess up somewhere. And you're like, okay, well, which is probably why you said, like, it's not amazing, but it's also probably like, yeah, it was good, but,
But I will say that, obviously there's some storylines that are out there, primarily, the Bucks and, and that, by the way, was a phenomenal match. We'll talk about that. But, the weird thing with Kenny and everything, and, that kind of like I think it puts a lot of people, it's putting them off. And I think probably that's why you don't watch anymore, because the storyline is just, it's like, come on, can we just end this shit? Like, please, and then of course you get, Cody and a go-go, and, we all know what's going to happen then. Okay. So I didn't need to watch that. I already knew. And if you really thought that Anthony Ogogo was going to win, ooh, I got some land to sell you in the Florida swamp. Real cheap.
What'd you think of Serena and Riho?
It was underwhelming.
Okay.
For me, I don't know. I mean, I love Serena, but like Riho, I'm just like not, I don't know. I'm not sold on her.
I don't feel like she has enough weight to do moves. So like when I was watching a few little clips of it, Serena was having to drag herself through moves because Riho just didn't have the strength or weight to do it. So it was really weird. But other than that, I will say that I saw a lot of people comparing Serena Deeb to Bret Hart during that match, and I just loved that.
Yeah, that's interesting. Very interesting. I saw that too.
Yeah. I'm like, but to circle back over to Brian Cage and Adam Page, When this match happened, I was talking to somebody online, a buddy, and we both said, like, well, Hangman Page has to win because they've already ruined Brian Cage, and a win here wouldn't fix him, but a loss here could ruin Page, which is what we went in there thinking, because at the end of the day, I think Brian Cage needs to take some time off. Yeah. Not in a bad way, because I think that he's so good, and I think he keeps being put in these positions where he has to lose to their favorites, that it's making him look bad, and he's carrying around this FTW title, and that makes him look worse, because he's supposed to be the baddest son of a bitch in the business, and he loses every match that we see on TV. If he's winning, it's on YouTube. If it's on TV, he's going to lose it, and it makes it look that much more stupid that he's walking around with a title and being called the toughest son of a bitch in the business who loses every match we get to see. It just sucks. You know what I mean? Because we know how good he is. We've seen him elsewhere. We've seen him be incredible. So I'm like, he needs to step away enough to get out and away of the storylines with the EVPs and their best friends. Because until he can be in a separate storyline, like the smartest thing Miro's done, with as stupid as everything has been, he has stayed the fuck away from the Elite.
Yeah.
Which is so smart, because all you can do for the Elite is lose because they're the EVPs, and that's what they're trying to build right now. Yeah. So the smartest thing Miro did was, okay, I'll come in and do the goofy shit, the stupid stuff, just so people can, think of me one way or another. And then he immediately went in towards the TV title with Darby Allin and all that. And now he's doing his own thing, nowhere near the Elite, and that's amazing. And that's what Brian Cage needs to do, in my mind.
I think he needs to, like, I've always thought that, he didn't need Team Taz. Team Taz needed him more so than anything. But in this, and I know I did not say, I don't think I said this on episode one, but I don't think at the time when you had Brian Cage, I don't think that everybody saw that potential in what Will Hobbs could do, because basically, I mean, you don't need two dudes like that. And Will is like kind of really stepped it up there, and I'm pretty sure that like with Brian, there's other things that he could do. I mean, yes, I'd love to see him in Miro. I'd love to see that. Will we get it? I don't know, but there's just so many things that they could do. And if Tony could, everyone says, oh, I love it, he lets us have creative freedom. I'm like, yeah, but if you're an EVP, you get results. If you're not, or you're not one of their friends, you're not getting shit, and I think people need to realize this. And I mean, you could take it one of two ways. You can take it either, if you're one of these wrestlers, you can take it either as, well, I have a job, I'm signed, I make, good money. Yeah. Or, like they don't like, there's a lot of people who don't like that politicking, and it is what it is. But they do have, I think, probably, they have probably a really, I think, one of the better collection of indie wrestlers that's out there right now. I mean, no knocking, like, or well, RH does kind of suck, but they have good people over there too. Yeah. But I mean, it's just kind of like I'm sick of seeing Kenny Omega and his like 20 belts, boring. I don't care. The Young Bucks, I did really enjoy the match.
So let's keep this on track here. Let's pitch it to Klump real quick.
Yeah.
It is the stories that I think that draw me out of it, and the way that they ruin some of these amazing characters, and we're going to get into that too. I want to shoot over to Klump real quick. Klump, was there anything about the Page and Cage or Riho and Serena stuff that you wanted to throw in there?
I heard, from what I saw, the Serena match, it looked fantastic. I heard good things about the Cage and Page match, and that's awesome. Like, I agree with Amanda here. More or less everything. Yeah, it sounds good. I also agree in that, it seems that everything that was rough here was not matches. It was the story behind them, which when you go to WWE, a shitty match is part of a big story. I'm like, well, I'm okay with the story, but if it's a great match and a story that I'm not invested in, it's really hard to get me to care about it.
Yeah.
Here, it's also difficult because if it's a great match, I don't really want to invest in it anymore because I know that the story ain't gonna back it up.
Yeah. Now, I know you and I talked a little bit about this too, and one of the things we talked about was it's almost like this inadvertent luckiness that Hangman Page has been playing this stupid drunk character we haven't liked, because all he has to do to set it right is have a couple good wins and stop coming out with drinks, and he's okay again. So all the losses and stuff will just look like he was being lazy or something. Where with Brian Cage's losses, there's just no excuse. You know what I mean? So I kind of felt that in this match too, where it's all like, all right, well, Page is getting these good wins he needs, but Brian Page is definitely not getting anything to help his character or the relevancy of that FTW title. And they dropped that whole thing with Taz. Remember he came out, I'm not leaving until someone comes out here and adds legitimacy to this title, and you guys need to recognize the title. And then they just never talked about it again.
No.
You don't remember that? It was on a Dynamite.
I remember that. It's like, yeah, they haven't done anything with it.
Yeah.
You know,
So
there was nothing. I think what probably derailed that was Sting. I really do. Because that was around the same time.
That's true.
Before Sting came.
That's true.
Winter came.
All right, so let's move it along a little bit. AEW Tag Team Championship. I know you wanted to talk about Young Bucks versus John Moxley and Eddie Kingston. I have literally nothing to say about this one, so it's all you, Amanda.
This actually, I will say this is probably the one of the John Moxley matches that I've actually enjoyed, because usually I just don't. I'm like, oh, I'm not into him, whatever. But I love Eddie too. But but it was again old Bucks, but it was something different because these are two people that in this combination, obviously not tag team wrestlers, and they held their own. Storyline dumb. Hi, spoiler. Yeah, Mox and King stole the Dior's. I don't give a fuck about those. I don't give a fuck that all of them are wearing Air Jordans and whatever. I'm like, no, I don't care. It's like, whatever. No one cares. And if you're like sitting at home or on Twitter or wherever, and you're like, oh my God, I got to get a pair of like Air Jordans, like because of whatever. I'm like, nah, dude. No. You can buy Cody's next shirt. I think he's probably going to have a Pride one.
Nope. They actually gave it to Dustin.
Oh, wait, he did. That's right. He did. So sorry. Hold on. Forgot about that. Yeah. So go buy Cody's Pride stuff and whatever. So just saying with it. But again, obnoxious storylines. I don't even, and as a person that loved BTE, I really don't even watch it anymore. I kind of fast forward through it because I don't like hearing Matt Hardy and Private Party. That's boring as shit. The Dark Order makes it what it is, and I really think the Dark Order should do their own thing. And other than that, there really isn't anything, because BTE always had it was a great story, and it always had some kind of resolution before getting onto something else that was crazy. Or if it did jump on something, it came back to whatever.
Yeah.
But
did they pin Moxley to win?
I don't remember. I was really drunk.
I feel like that's what I'm reading here.
Still watching it.
They pinned Moxley.
I think so.
You know what this made me think of too? They've done an awful lot to make Eddie Kingston look like a fool. Mm-hmm. And he's the most believable and best talker they have. But they've definitely gone out of their way to make him look stupid with the whole take cover stuff, him passing out, him having to cut a promo where he said, I got anxiety and passed out because of prison. You know what that made me kind of realize this week, what I want more than anything now? As much as Moxley's fucking around with Nick Gage, I want Nick Gage to come in there and rip Eddie Kingston apart and be like, if you thought seeing a piece of shit ring with a little bit of barbed wire was making you think about prison, wait till I get to your ass. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, yeah. Nick Gage is like real prison. He's no little fucking crybaby holding cell for a night and pass out in a fucking ring later on. Yeah.
Eastern Block, MDW, MDK all fucking day. Sorry.
Yeah, MDK all fucking day.
All fucking day.
Yeah, hell yeah. So that's what I want now. Now I want Nick Gage and Eddie Kingston because I want to hear them talk to each other, and I want to hear Nick Gage just rip Kingston apart. Because the thing is Kingston's lost so much credibility just because of them.
And get this. I guess today he posted some lyrics by DMX. Rest in peace, man. And the snowflakes of Twitter were offended because it had the N-word in it. And so it got to the point where Eddie took it down, and I'm like, and he's like, I'm really sorry, and I'm like, who the fuck is this guy now? This guy's a big puss. Like, I love you, King. You're fucking great, but now you're a puss, and you're succumbing to the stupid like trolls of internet Twitter. Come on, dude. Come on. That doesn't do anything for your stock at all.
Yeah, that's why I want Gage to show up. I can't wait for Gage to show up and be like, I'm taking you back to prison, bitch.
Bitch.
Fuck yeah.
Or, or like fucking Homicide to come up and like fucking just like fucking beat the shit out of him. Like, what the fuck, dude? What the fuck happened to your ass? I mean, that's what we
pull
need.
the same shit. Because remember, Kingston tried to pull that shit on Moxley. Well, you were out there being a sports entertainer. Have Homicide engaged, come over and jump Kingston and been like, what happened to you? Look how soft you got, dude. You got real fucking cozy over here, having a fight about shoes and falling asleep in the ring because of some sparklers. Can't fucking wait. I would love that shit.
I'm pretty sure that Nick Gage would love to come over to AEW. I know TNT probably wouldn't like that. They wouldn't sanction that because all the blood and the whatever. But at the end of the day, it's like, if you're gonna, play in the sandbox, you really need to play in the sandbox. Don't like kind of, let me dip my toe in here. No, you gotta commit to it. So, and besides, if you and I wrote this, or, the three of us wrote this and producers, like four of us wrote, some of the storylines and booked some of the shit, it would be a hell of a lot better.
It'd be dope.
I'm just saying. That Gage thing.
Bishop says Marsh just booked his way into watching AEW and they won't even do it. Klump, anything you want to say about this stuff?
I'm good.
Clips of it. All right.
Yeah, I'm good.
Apparently they made a bunch of fucking mockery things again. I mean, Young Bucks keep me out of it. They're 100% of the reason why I don't watch, if I really boil it down. I guess they were mocking Macho Man. They were mocking Warrior. They mocked The Shield. And it's all like, I'm not here to watch you just make fun of the fact that we loved wrestling at some point. I don't know if it was here with Kenny, but in the group chat, and then we'll talk about the Casino Battle Royal. Correct me if I'm wrong, Amanda. Someone said at one point that wow, that's the fourth dig someone's taken at JR for saying that Randy Orton was his favorite.
Yeah.
They kept digging at JR during this show?
They kind of were. Yeah.
Like, what the fuck is that about?
I have no idea. I have no idea where that was coming from.
Well, I feel like if it's one person, like the Young Bucks, their version of this heel character is to just get heat in every way they can, because they can't. They're not intimidating. They're like, and I'm gonna get shit when I say this, they're a shitty heel Shawn Michaels.
Yeah.
They're small, they're annoying, they're frustrating, and that's what they're going for. But they're way overblowing it. There's nothing backing it up. It just sounds petulant. It's not the heat that they want. It's just, at this point, it's go home heat. It's okay, this is annoying heat.
Yeah, we get it. You're the EVPs. You can do what you want. We get it. Yeah. But it wasn't just the Young Bucks who were taking digs at JR. Apparently, it was coming from all different directions, which is
a lot of different
really
people.
Fucking
wrong. And I was like, wow, I don't get this, but whatever. I'm like, okay, where were y'all when he was, talking about Joshi wrestling and calling it Oriental? Where were y'all?
Yeah,
I know I'm the only one. Well, I'm probably the only one that got pissed about that.
But that's one of the big things a lot of people have always said. They were all happy JR went there because they talked about how it was so good. He was getting away from the evil Vince McMahon who would make him do goofy shit or make fun of him on TV and stuff. Shit. And now everyone there is fucking mocking him online and mocking him on TV. Literally, Matt Hardy, Jericho, and Omega were calling him names online.
Yeah.
Just
Neither
because.
Others too. Yeah.
Yeah. But I mean, like, those names of all people in your company are going to do that, and all he said was, for his dollar, Randy Orton does not disappoint, and it's closer to the style that he enjoys watching the most. And he even said, people who said Kenny Omega is the best would be absolutely right to their opinion in that, and I wouldn't even argue it. The guy is fantastic. He said Kenny Omega was great. He said it the most diplomatic way. Kenny is amazing. Randy Orton's amazing. If I had to pick a personal favorite, I'm going Randy Orton. My personal favorite. Plus, he signed him. He signed Randy Orton. There's no Randy Orton without Jim Ross. So it's like, come on. He couldn't have been more diplomatic and fair about it. And you're literally having your top stars fucking take shots at him online and then on TV too? What the fuck? I don't know.
It's very sad.
Just bothered me.
Yeah. But it shows you the maturity level of that company.
And how sensitive they all are. What do you mean I'm not your favorite? Guys, he said I'm not his favorite. Well, let me go online and tell everybody you're the best.
Yeah. That's also probably, going back to what you said earlier, people get released there. They just go, nothing's ever said or whatever. So it's like, okay, manners. There's just something wrong with that. And it seems like it's okay. It's like you're basically saying that it's okay to be bratty. But then they'll go get on someone like a Janela's case who might be vocal about something, and what happens? He's fucking benched for a little bit. So
it's a bullshit.
Win some, you
let's move it along. Let's move it along. I like what you said there, Klump. The Battle Royal happened. The only thing I had of note there is Lio Rush was their big surprise, their huge surprise that they were hinting at, and wait till you'll see. And Tony Khan even said Double or Nothing is going to mark a new era for us. There's going to be a lot of big signings. And we got Lio Rush, and he was out of the Battle Royal in less than 2 minutes.
Yep.
And he's not even signed with the company. He's not signed.
Nope. Did not
he
sign.
Just showed up. No.
Look at Tony Khan.
That doesn't make sense.
They use a lot of people they don't sign. Half the people you see on their TV are not signed to them.
I know, because I know Thunder Rosa's not.
Yeah. I can't stand that shit. Like, I get it. It's cool that these guys are getting a quick payday. But also, like, these people are not protected. These fucking one-match contracts and these handshake deals don't protect them when they get injured. And I was reading about one dude who got hurt, and they wouldn't cover his medical bills because he wasn't one of their talent. He was just a dude who came in and got hurt. It's like, all right, we'll fucking go take care of it, and maybe we'll put you in a match when you're back on YouTube. Like, it's fucking bullshit. Like, you guys want to talk about how everyone was talking about how AEW is going to revolutionize the business, give every wrestler health care.
Pay and coverage is a huge part. Sorry. That just infuriates the shit out of me because, like we heard time and again that they're going to change the business, and they've talked openly about coverage and care in their opening press conference. They talked about insurance and all this shit for their employees, and fucking using unsigned talent. I'm surprised, given how much heat WWE gets thrown at them. Why aren't we having conversations about how these independent contractors are going in unsigned to the show to get hurt? That's bullshit to me.
Yeah, 100%. And at the end of the day, they're misleading everyone because they kept talking about how there's going to be healthcare, and there is healthcare for the EVPs because they're employees and not independent contractors. Every other talent, there's an independent contractor. Where's fucking John Oliver's special about AEW and the amount of injuries that they've had? If he wants to fucking shit all over WWE, which is fine, shit on them. I don't care. I don't make money from them. Well, I guess kind of. But
shit on everyone.
So true. Yeah,
shit on everybody. True. Why don't you put another thing saying, hey, we're having a whole new uprising of wrestling. It's getting big. We have a whole company that's foundational press conference was about healthcare and unionization, and here we are 2 years in, and we have none of that.
Yes.
And they've got more injuries per episode than any other company.
Oh, I know.
You just get it. Yeah. It's like, why don't you fucking bring that up, John Oliver? Because maybe it's real fucking cool to hate WWE. Maybe that's why. Maybe. Takes in the chat again? No, he's not. Oh, yeah, there he is. He changed it to purple. What happened? How do you go purple? He said, Forbidden Door is open, baby. So open, they kicked them right out. Boop. But Lio Rush did show up. He was thrown right out. He's not signed. He had like two flubs. Why is it everyone who shows up for Battle Royal is surprised, like has a huge flub on the ropes? Like they try so hard to do something cool and they mess it up right away.
I don't know.
Like, because he fell on his ass. I
don't know. Personally, I liked my two choices that I had. I did not say it on episode 1, but my 2 choices, I said it on Twitter. Either I wanted to see Marty come out because the time is right, and especially because he posted a picture of himself on Instagram with train tracks. And it was like, it was, I don't know, maybe I read way too much into it. I don't know. But
I like it.
that was my one. And then the other was, hey, maybe Ricky's faking an injury and he's coming in and he's going to win no. But I will say that I'm very happy with who won the belt. Extremely happy. So kudos to fucking Jungle Boy. I mean, oh my God, I was like in tears. And the only reason why people are probably like, why is this bitch crying? Because like I've seen him for years when he was in the Indies. Like All Pro Wrestling, APW, shout out to them in San Francisco. They were like his second home. He trained up here with them, and it was really cute. He had a little fan base, and I really hope, I hadn't seen his little fangirls in like a long time, but I really hope they're still out there. It was so cute. I was like, oh my God, this kid's got like a little harem of like fangirls. They were really cute, like Goo Goo Gaga. And I hope they're still around. So I was actually very, very excited for him. I'm like, Jack's doing amazing things. It was great to see some of, other people that he's, wrestled with it, giving him congrats, like Jake Atlas and, and so on. So I was very excited. So will something become cool of that? I would love for him to be the TNT champion, because I think that it kind of gives him a different shine, the shine that he really needs to have. He needs to go away from the dinosaur. He needs to go away from Marco Stunt. He needs to do it on his own, because he is a fantastic wrestler. Fan-fucking-tastic. And it's they should do that. I know you got Tarzan Boy. It's great. I know everyone's like, oh my God, best thing since sliced bread. But you know what? For someone like me, people at PWG, been there, done that. It's great.
So,
but
my question is,
I don't want the dinosaur.
He's the number 1 contender for the world title. He's not the number 1 contender for the TNT title.
Oh, that's right. Okay, sorry.
So here's my question. It was all very nice, everything you said. I liked it. That's just it. Is he beating Omega?
I think the one that's going to beat Omega is going to be Paige, Hangman Page.
Maybe, but if you give Jungle Boy, because Jungle Boy had a shot against Jericho, didn't he? Or was it Moxley? And he had a shot at the TNT title once. It feels like they do this every few months or so. They give you a token victory for Jungle Boy, so you think they're giving him the big push, and then he's done. This feels like a real token win. At first, I was like, oh, that's so dope. That's smart. They got Jungle Boy. And then I went, wait, for what? What does it matter if he's not believably going towards the champion? If he goes and has a match against Omega, no one for a second thinks he's going to do it.
Oh, no, absolutely not. No.
But all their fans during the match will be like, I thought he was going to do it. Right, when he loses.
Come on. I'm a realist.
Klump.
Oh, by the way, people, if anyone sees a Jungle Boy out there, the figure, let a sister know, because I have a nice Dylan McKay that is waiting for his son to sit right by him. So please let me know.
Klump, what do you think about all this?
I'm happy Jungle Boy won it. It makes the most sense. I mean, it would have been really cool to see Christian go, but I think to give some credit to AEW, it's, to me, more important to build talent rather than keep giving us these short-lived cheap pops of this person's had a long time, let's see what they can do. If Christian won it and then went on to a feud with Kenny, or won it against Kenny, or lost it, it just, to me, be like, okay, cool, another one. Like, having Jungle Boy go at it, you've been building up Jungle Boy for 2 years and kind of starting and stopping. Keep investing in him. He's a talent that, I mean, honestly, they have no right to have. He should be somewhere else, because he's fucking fantastic. So yeah, let's see what you can do with him.
Yeah, I agree. Let's see. I'm just gonna run through some of these because I don't think we need to talk about them much. Cody and Anthony, you already mentioned it. Cody won. I heard it was a
Shocker.
decent match for what it was, but I heard it was a stupid fucking win by Cody, and it makes the whole thing kind of undermined. Is there anything you want to say about the match specifically? Is there anything like you?
No, it was
Well,
predictable. I mean,
predictable.
Yeah.
it was dumb. We didn't need this like British, the UK versus USA. I mean, I don't know what the hell that was for. Someone must have watched like Rocky 4 or whatever.
You know what I heard?
When they were thinking about this.
I read someone speculate that he's been trying to copyright American Dream for years, and he can't get the copyright for it. And so he used it here so that way he can say, see, I've used it on TV to give him leverage in a copyright fight.
He has been using it.
He's been using American Nightmare, not the American Dream.
No,
so.
he's been using American Dream for a little bit now. At least
okay.
like 2 episodes before the pay-per-view. Because Justin
Yeah,
Roberts,
that's
I was
what I mean.
like, what? I'm like, I thought
Exactly.
Justin Roberts made a mistake. I was like, what? Did you make a mistake?
No, that's the whole point.
Yeah.
Is he's only used it like 3 times, and it was just real recently, and it was just
Yeah.
to like try and push that supposedly. But yeah, I guess it was what it was.
I did
Go ahead,
find
Klump.
it. I found it funny his gear that he walked out and he looked exactly like the main villain in The Boys, the Amazon series.
Oh
like-
my god.
Yeah, their version of Captain America that's a parody and like a commentary on the failings of the American dream and American exceptionalism, and Cody's supposed to be the face. Like, buddy.
I thought he watched
Try.
Hamilton one too many times.
Do you know
Yeah.
the character's name?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, that would have been smart and better for me to have prepared,
Well, I was gonna look it up.
30
No!
seconds.
I thought that-
But yeah, a go lost. I'm gonna look up right here.
I was calling him "Wake Me Up Before You a Go Go."
Yeah, it's a good one.
Wham's British, Hey.
I'm
But for
definitely
what
not-
a Go Go is,
no,
he actually was
definitely not.
pretty decent. I was surprised.
Oh my God, you're right. Here it is. Homelander.
Yes.
No. Yeah. He does look just like him. All right, I'll get some pictures of that and post it online. Anyways, oh my God, dude, the gear too had the shoulder pads the same.
Yep.
Oh, that's crazy. It's hysterical. Oh, here's a good picture of it. All right, I'm gonna save this one. I'll be posting it later. This is a good one as well. All right, so after that we had Lance and Miro. Is there anything there that's worth talking about at all?
No.
Working snake. It was a working snake, not a real
Oh,
snake.
Yeah, that was stupid.
Yeah,
He
I'm
just
like,
throws
come
a fucking snake.
on. I remember Damien. That scared the shit out of me when I was a kid.
And was heavy as fuck.
Yeah.
Let's see. After that, Britt Baker beat Sheeta. Anything to say about that? I wasn't a fan of Sheeta going out there and hugging Tony Schiavone afterwards and like crying on
Yeah,
his
that was
shoulder.
weird. Yeah.
It was really
That
weird.
was weird.
Here's my biggest issue with them doing this. They did this. They also put out a picture immediately after the show of MJF and Jericho standing in the back watching video together, laughing about something with Tony Khan. I don't mind if these backstage photos are being taken and stuff, and I think it's actually a really cool moment in time when you see it. But like, you got to reflect on it. Like, if they release this stuff like 3 or 4 months down the line, it'd be like, oh, that's cool, that happened backstage or whatever. But they're doing it on camera and often, to where it just feels like kids at the end of a play bowing. Like after every match being like, thank you, acting. You know what I mean? Like, it feels like John Lovitz at the end of doing a skit every time they do that.
Yeah.
I just don't like it. Just let me believe a little bit. Just like, let me believe the match. Let me believe in the aftermatch. And then put on a little documentary on your YouTube later where someone can be like, oh, did you see this? They had some backstage stuff of some cool moments with Britt and Tony. I'd be like, that's amazing. But not in the show. I don't want to see it in the show. I want to believe in the show.
Yeah, if that happened, like, I don't know, during a movie, and you just see, like,
The director comes
the
out.
actors. It's like, no, that's if I care to see the director's cut. I don't want to be taken out of it.
Steven Spielberg comes out and hugs Elliot and E.T. And you're like, oh, how cool is that? But anything you want to say about the match itself? I heard it was decent.
It was okay. But,
Okay.
I mean, it was all right. I really kind of, I think at that point in time, I think I went to the bar to get another drink.
Good.
So
Sounds
yeah,
worth it.
but I mean but I kind of knew Sheeta, her time was up. She's making a big deal about, oh, she's had the belt for, blah, 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 blah. And you had this little celebration-y thing. Yeah, your time is up.
Yeah, we're moving on.
Moving on.
Which
No one believed for 1 second she was winning that match. But go ahead, Klump.
No.
And it's not wrong. It's not a bad idea to move somebody out to bring somebody new in, but I don't know. I think it's more just like the manner in which they did it. Like they've been building up Britt forever, so it makes sense that they finally put it on her. But I don't know. Like it still feels a little bit weird to me, just the way it lands. Like I feel like it could have, to me, been done differently or better, because we're saying this person's had it for a year, but we're not acknowledging a pandemic. You could also say this person's been so dominant in the face of how they've come back to this and still dominated. I don't know. I mean, again,
The problem
I
is
get it.
Yeah.
Good.
No, I mean, I agree. But the thing is this, is that the problem is, the reason they can't say that is because it's just not true. The problem with this match and going into it was they've done such a terrible job with Shida that she's had the most underwhelming title. Like, that title's meant fucking nothing for almost 2 years. And that is the fault of Tony by not booking it in even a remotely interesting way. The most interesting belt they have on the women's division is the NWA title, because he's done such a shit job of promoting his own talent that Thunder Rosa doesn't give him a choice and promotes herself. You know, like, and the idea that they've been building Britt, no, they haven't. They built her years ago. She was the first woman they signed. She goes out there, goes to the press conference, and they basically say, as soon as we get the right chance, we're going to put the title on her. It was all formality. And they didn't put the title on her immediately just for formality's sake, so they can say that they didn't. The idea of giving Shida that whole celebration was just to try and almost revise backwards booking of her entire championship reign. She had this meaningless, stupid reign where she was in the audience almost every week, if at all. Had very little matches, and almost none of which were memorable. But we want to pat ourselves on the back for not taking the title off of her sooner. That's all it was, hey, you guys should be celebrating her shitty title reign. And it's your fault it was shitty. And it was your fault that going into it, no one thought for a second Britt wasn't taking the title, because it's all like, oh, this is a formality to get the title on Britt, because that's the only woman they've been building for 2 years.
Well, I think that all...
Yeah.
Sorry, go ahead.
Oh, I was going to say, the other one was the other woman I think they're building up, which I think she's I think a little bit better in her own way, is Jade Cargill. And who knows what's going to happen with Jade.
Yeah. What were you saying, Klump?
I was going to say, I think also, like, beyond, it's not just that this title doesn't mean shit. This division doesn't mean shit. Like, you can just be pretty open there. The women's division in AEW is fucking terrible. If it were 10 years ago, yeah, it actually might not be, it wouldn't be a bad division, because we're still in the midst of the divas in WWE. But things have changed so dramatically for women's wrestling that, yeah, like, if it has relevance and stuff like that, it's more that it's the best title reign in a shitty division. But also, yeah, it lies at the feet of Tony Khan. This has been handled poorly.
Yeah. I saw someone online, they said that they go, the women's division, AEW's women's division is light years ahead of the WWE women's division across all three brands, and it's not even a debate anymore. And I was like, why don't you just say Britt Baker's your favorite wrestler? Like, because that makes more sense.
Who is this person and what crack are they smoking?
I have no idea. I fucking muted them immediately. But it's just one of those things where it's all like, it's also fair to say your favorite women's wrestler is Britt Baker, and you're really happy with the way that they've built her and her story. Her story is well done from top to bottom at the end of the day. But hers is the only one in that whole division that is. So if you say the women's division AEW is top notch, that just means Britt Baker's your favorite wrestler. Just say it.
Yep.
Just say what you mean. All right, let's see. Sting and Darby against Scorpio Sky, Ethan Page.
No snow.
No snow?
No snow. I don't think was there? I don't know. But there's been a couple times when Sting has come out and there's been no snow, but I don't think there was snow.
Yeah, there should be snow.
I don't know. There should be, damn it. But if they
I heard
don't
this
push, yeah. Go
I
ahead.
heard this match did nothing for Darby. That Sting looked like unbeatable. He didn't sell literally anything at all, and Darby just got his ass kicked the whole match. And then Sting got the pin on Scorpio, so Darby didn't
Yeah.
even get the pin. So it just kind of like the whole thing was set to put over Sting, I guess, which
Yeah.
is weird because I thought the whole point of Sting was to make other people look good. Like Sting can still be part of the winning team and not be the one who does literally 100% of the work.
Yeah.
Right?
Well,
Am I wrong on that?
no, you're right. I mean, but then if I look at Sting's other match, the cinematic one,
Yeah.
the cinematic one was a lot better. You know, I don't know. Maybe it's because, they're getting a little time. I was shocked that Sting took bumps. I know a couple other people were saying that too around the internet. And but I really think that if they don't do something with Ethan Page or Scorpio Sky, then you know what? That's really shitty, because both of those guys are so talented, and it just kind of sucks. It's like, Scorpio Sky's kind of in that bubble, because of obviously SCU and being in LA and things like that. But at the same time, it's like, well, the guy's good. He's really, really good. I mean, hell, he was with Shibata out at the LA Dojo. When Shibata was over there, he was his like right-hand man over there.
Yeah.
So like when people like Brody King went there, and like Carl Fredericks, Alex Kaufman, all those guys now. Yeah, there was a lot of great people there, and I know that Scorpio Sky's done a lot for a lot of different indie wrestlers around, and helped them out. So I really think that he's due for something. So he's due for something.
So
great.
what did you think of the match?
It was predictable, and I just was shocked that one, Sting took bumps, and then two, wasn't really shocked that Darby was getting his ass beat everywhere.
Yeah.
So I'm like, well, what did this match serve? That's what I kept thinking. It didn't serve anything for me or any purpose. It didn't make Scorpio Sky or Ethan Page look any better. It didn't do anything.
Yeah, it was weird. Weird to have Sting just come in there, beat some shit out of some people. Klump, did you have much to say about this one? Do you have anything you thought happened? It's crazy.
Cool seeing Sting. Yeah, it's cool seeing Sting go, but I didn't have a lot on it, again, because I didn't see a lot of it. I'm appreciating what I'm hearing from him, and I'm like, okay, I might have, maybe I need to go back and watch some more of this.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Just to see him take bumps.
He took a suplex on the ramp, which was crazy, but then he just rolled over and stood back up. He didn't sell it for even 3 seconds.
I hate that
which is crazy.
Bullshit.
It was nuts. I don't know. I didn't understand it. As I was like watching clips and stuff, and I was watching the group chat where everyone was like, "This is awesome. He's no selling everything." I was like, "Wait, why is that awesome?" You have like 3 outside of Sting, the other 3 people in here all have the capability of going huge places, and Sting's just outshining all of them. And like, why? You know what I mean? Like, it's not making anybody look good. But let's see. There was the triple threat and the Stadium Stampede. Was there anything? I mean, I thought the triple threat stuff was all predictable. No one thought Kenny wasn't winning, right?
Yeah, no.
Yeah.
I don't know. Was there anything in there that was particularly amazing?
No.
Stadium Stampede.
I don't know. Maybe I just don't enjoy Kenny Omega anymore.
I think he's definitely different in America for whatever reason.
Just what they're doing with him is just really not what we grew up with in New Japan. It's if this is his final evolution, I'm not a fan of it.
Yeah.
Neither am I.
Yeah.
I'll co-sign that.
I'm in. The Stadium Stampede. I don't have a lot to say here. I'll say a couple things, and then I want you to think about it. Amanda, Jericho said in an interview this took them 4 days to film, that it was filmed in segments, and I hear that was kind of obvious. I didn't like their big old curtain call at the end where they came out, said some stuff, and bowed to the audience. looking
Yeah.
completely fine, like they weren't in a fight at all and just having a good time. And
Mhm.
Jericho saying, "Oh, I can't stop smiling. I'm having such a good time." But when you also take into account that he was only actually moving for a short period of time, I didn't like that he was cleared to wrestle with a clearly injured arm that was wrapped up like crazy because he's obviously working actually injured, and that's not cool to me. And I didn't like the entrance where they were rappelling off of that big sign. I thought that was unnecessary and wasn't a fan of it. Didn't care for it. But that was everything I thought about it, because the little bits I saw, the clips I saw, I was glad I didn't watch it. I didn't like Stadium Stampede last year. I don't like anything I saw of it this year. Amanda, was this a diamond in the rough? Was it actually pretty good?
No. To be honest, no. I mean, when they came down from the little like the screen, I was like, oh my god, this is like NSYNC Pop Odyssey 2000, that tour. Or no, 2001, excuse me. I'm dating myself. But I was like, okay, all right, cool. And of course, you know, we had to have Sammy with the callback with the golf cart, you know. It's like, okay. If you are not an MJF fan, it was kind of neat to see him get the shit beat out of him. He was great. The kid can work. Got a good work rate, I think.
I don't know if you heard it. I don't know if the air horn comes through on your guys' side.
No, I heard it.
Did you? That's so dope. It came through. So yeah, there's air horn.
Yes.
We got Cinti Pinky coming through, gifting out subs, subbing herself. Cheers to Cinti. So excited to have you come through. We appreciate that. We might get a few of these in a row. I'd hit you with the money gun, but as soon as the producer sees me shoot it, she gets real ticked. It's like,
You know,
can't use it.
No, but I will say Wardlow and Hager, horrible. That was just awkward. I'm like, oh. But I will say that Santana and Ortiz, it was nice to see Conan have a little guest appearance on the turntables and the little thing that they did with FTR.
Yeah.
I'd like to see more FTR versus Santana and Ortiz. So
Okay.
it's nice to see LAX back together. Nope. And the end was dumb.
Yeah, it was bad.
Yeah.
Klump, was there anything that happened here that you're aware of that you thought much of?
That I'm really aware of. I can't really throw anything to it.
Yeah. Yeah,
Sorry,
it is what it
guys.
is. I saw a little clip with Sean Spears, and I was like, that's stupid. But
Oh, he's awful. I know. That's your friend. He's awful.
yeah, and then they
The
really went out of
chairman.
their way to make him look.
Yeah, he
weird.
was in a room with chairs. I was like,
Yeah.
how stupid is this? I'm like, come on. This is dumb. Just like, you know, like you should just have him like, I don't know, he should have been sitting on the 10-yard line with like 10, you know, I don't know, footballs or something, you know?
Yeah.
I don't know what would have been worse. The
Yeah.
chairs were pretty bad.
No, I agree. But, you know, it is what it is. I didn't feel like I missed anything. I feel like I got enough of it, and I feel glad I didn't sit down and watch the whole thing. So we will move on unless there's something else you guys want to say about the event.
Keep going.
Yeah. If you paid
Let's
for
roll.
it, I'm sorry.
That's a good point, too. Let's talk NXT. Let's see. I mean, this one had some long matches, so it might not take all that long to do, but NXT.
Dude.
It did open up. Did you get to watch NXT, Clump?
Yeah, so USA, you can watch it live on the app, but you cannot watch it next day, which is frustrating. So I had to watch it through Hulu, so I got the hour version. But
Okay,
I got the
so you might have
major
missed
matches. Yeah.
There is a USA app that you
I
can
have that.
usually get and it didn't show it shows at a certain time. I think you're right. I think it's like
And
6 p.m. the next day or something weird.
It's been so buggy on
Yeah.
both the Apple TV and on the Amazon Fire Stick, and I think that's because of Peacock. I honestly think because the Sci-Fi app was also kind of like this. I think that they're transitioning their stuff to the Peacock app, and they've just kind of stopped making it work well. So I can like watch it live, but when I'm like, cool, let's watch yesterday's show, it just crashes out.
Well, let's see. We'll see what we can hit that was seen. You definitely saw the Gargano, Kyle O'Reilly, Pete Dunne match that opened the show.
Yeah,
What did you
it's
think?
an interesting.
I'm gonna start with you.
I thought it was an interesting match. I was watching it and I thought they all worked really well together. It made me like Johnny Gargano because these two dudes worked really well with him. However, I can get having Kyle O'Reilly in this. I can get having Pete Dunne in this. I have no fucking clue really why Johnny Gargano is in it.
Yeah. Even the
you know what
video
I mean?
package they showed before, it didn't explain it well to me.
Yeah, like it was like we're really good. Like we're the best in this. I don't think you are, because arguably to me, like Bronson Reed, 100%. Could have been in. Yeah, he's got a belt, but he could have gone for it. I mean, you could put Legado del Fantasma. Like you could have put the Santana, or sorry, Santos Escobar in it. That makes sense to me.
Yeah.
Even though he just had a feud with Karrion Kross, he's
that's why.
still kind of on a hot streak,
Exactly. That's why he makes way more sense than Gargano.
Yes, like, and you haven't built these guys up in separate feuds prior. Like Pete Dunne, yeah. Kyle O'Reilly, yeah. But I don't know. And then the schmoz finish to it. When I saw that it was coming up first, I was like, this isn't gonna end like in a great way. And when Adam Cole came out, I was just like, I don't give a shit. Why are you here?
Yeah, I was not thrilled by that part. Amanda, what did you think of the match?
Well, again, I was like, why the hell is Johnny Gargano here? So I
100%.
there's other people, but I mean, I knew something had to happen going into it. Like there's going to be something that's going to make this either like a fatal 4-way or something.
Yeah.
And of course, it's a fatal 5-way now.
Yeah, I am not looking forward to that.
Yeah. So honestly, like I liked later, with, Adam Cole, I kind of liked the happenings later. But I thought, this, it was interesting. Do I want to see that match? Actually, I think it's going to be pretty good at TakeOver, what it ends up being. So, yeah.
I don't think it's a takeover. I think it's just a relabeled
no, it is
Wednesday night.
In your house? No, it's
Isn't it in your house just going to be another Wednesday or Tuesday or whatever?
No, I thought it was an actual pay-per-view, or like on a pay-per-view weekend. Or if I'm wrong, I'm wrong. I don't know, guys.
I thought it was just a renamed episode, so I guess we'll find out. We'll have to take a look.
Mm-hmm.
But okay, yeah. Here's my thing: is I didn't mind Cole getting involved in a sense. I wasn't excited by it, but I was like, okay, I guess they're gonna do something with it. I wasn't happy with what they did with it. Like I thought they were gonna split it up somehow. But a fatal 5-way does not intrigue me whatsoever. And my biggest issue with this match is if I feel like Gargano heavily choreographs and scripts everything, and I feel like this was the first time O'Reilly and Dunne looked equally choreographed, and they didn't look natural in the ring, and I felt like it showed. I feel like Gargano slows everyone down and makes everyone look choreographed, and I feel like that's a problem. I feel like he was calling the match, so it was like, well, let's rehearse it and rehearse it and rehearse it, and everything looks overly rehearsed, and nothing looks natural, nothing looks like a fight anymore. And so to me, it was another Gargano triple threat. It's the way he does all of his triple threats, and I don't like him. So it was a shame because of how much I like O'Reilly and Dunne, and I've put over every match they've had in the past couple years. But I think Gargano dragged this down, and then I think now we're getting a fatal 5-way, and I'm like, well, I don't think adding Adam Cole to it makes it interesting. What I hope happens though, I hope Karrion Kross spears all 5 of them and just lays them all on top of each other and pulls a Roman Reigns.
Yeah.
It'd be so fucking funny. But then a really weird thing happened. So the whole Adam Cole thing happens, and then Ember Moon comes running out there and starts screaming at Raquel Gonzalez, demanding she comes out there for who knows what reason. And
that was weird.
All this? It made no sense. I was like, what, are you suddenly a badass? You haven't been a fucking badass since you showed up. And now you're calling out the champion? Like, for what? What makes you think you deserve it? And I was like, oh, I'm taking the title shot. It made no sense. And then they have a promo in the back where she tries to make Ember's Law make sense, and it doesn't make any sense still. It was so weird. Ember Moon feels so forced into this, and I feel like they just weren't sure who to use. And Ember's like, oh, I can cut a promo that'll work. And you're like, yeah, I guess it works, but it doesn't make sense. Klump, was this in the Hulu version?
She came out, and it was like, okay. Like, it just the way it came out, I was like, did she miss a cue? Like it
Mhm.
just felt
Right.
so weird. Like the fuck is this some AEW shit? She comes out and I love Ember Moon,
Yeah.
but her coming out like this, it just didn't land to me like the way they were trying. It didn't seem tough. It didn't seem like a I'm gonna fuck you up, kick your ass kind of thing.
Yeah. Yeah. I felt the same. Yeah, it was weird. It felt weird to
Yeah.
me.
Sorry, like
Uh,
I'm off base saying that. It just felt like whiny.
and I agree with you. I love Ember Moon. We've been really excited to have her back. But this was weird and out of place. I was like, wait, what? And then the way she was yelling at Raquel, and I'm holding up
Yeah.
this show hostage until it was like, for what? And when were you this kind of like? It felt
Where'd you
so
come
weird.
from?
Yeah.
Mhm.
Who the fuck
Yeah.
are you? I thought you were Shotzi Blackheart's little goofy sidekick who rides on the back of the tank and does whatever
Mhm.
Shotzi want to do. You don't even come out and like you're in charge in your own team. Like, what the hell's going on? So I don't know. It was weird. And then didn't they just lose the titles not that long ago?
Yeah.
So
Mhm.
why do you deserve a title? Like, it's just weird. It didn't make sense. A lot of the show did not make sense to me. I was like, what's happening? Bishop does say it's on 6/13, which would make it a Sunday. It would make it the week before Hell in a Cell. So I guess it is going to be pay-per-view, which is unfortunate because I don't want to see a Fatal 5-Way. I mean, I guess they have some time, but as of right now, I'm not interested in that Fatal 5-Way because it doesn't prove anything. And we'll get to the promo here in a minute, but I'm not excited about Ember Moon versus Raquel either. I feel like I've seen them all fight a bunch of times because of those tag matches.
Mhm.
After that, though, we did get a pretty great segment here for both Pride Month and for Amanda Jane. We had LA Knight coming out, cutting a promo, talking about how he's a $1 million man type, and he gets into a match with Jake Atlas. The
Yeah.
chemistry between LA Knight and Jake Atlas, so good. Yeah.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. And it's like, it's strange to me because Jake Atlas moves like nobody moves. Because he's a gymnast. He moves in a really weird way and not in a bad way. He just moves incredibly unique. And one of the issues I've had with him early on was like, he's going to have a hard way making some of that stuff look natural because it's not a natural way to move to begin with.
But he
So-
does make natural.
He does sometimes. Sometimes it's forced to get into that position so he can do his crazy maneuvering because he moves really crazily, right? So a lot of people don't know how to get into that position that he needs you to be in. So I will say it's like half and half a lot of times. But in this match, LA Knight did everything to make sure he was in the right spots no matter how weird it was, and it made it all look natural and fluid, and it was fantastic. Their chemistry together is perfect. They get each other. It was dope. So cool to see.
Yeah. I don't think that was their first rodeo.
No.
Yeah, no. Don't think it was. But I think also with that style, there's very few people. I think all the matches he's had, the series right before he was signed and Jungle Boy was signed, those series of matches that they have had, I think there were 4 total maybe. Those were just incredible because every time it wound up. I think the last one they did at Bowl, that one was, I don't think it was as good as the other ones, but Atlas he's a really talented guy, and the LA Knight match made him really look like a star. I mean, they both look so great.
Yeah. And I wasn't trying to say he's not talented. I'm saying he absolutely is talented. I don't know that other
No,
people
no.
know. You know what I mean? Because for him to be able to do the crazy moves that he does so well and fluidly is going to be something that the other person's never been a part of. So it's like, it's just tough to make it come off natural, like to have that ricochet effect of how he uses his momentum to get places in weird ways.
Yeah.
I was like, so I think there's been some matches with Jake Atlas where I was like, okay, well, they went out of their way to make sure that worked, and it worked, but it was like, it could be done smoother, but I don't know how, right? This was one of those ones where it's all like, yeah, nope. This is 100% how these two type of people fight. This is dope.
Yeah.
Was this match in there for you, Klump?
I liked it. I thought it was decent. I just, oh wait, the Jake Atlas match?
Yeah.
No, it was not in there.
He was not in there. And Jake
What a
Atlas got the win.
crime.
I know.
Yeah.
It's a shame, dude.
That's a total shame.
Yeah, I'm
Yeah.
sorry. I was like, wait. No,
Yeah.
I thought we were talking about the tag match. Like, nope. This.
Yeah.
Sorry.
No, we'll get there. But yeah, LA Knight and Jake Atlas, I think you would like it if you ever get around to it, but I'm sure we'll see it again.
I love his pandering to the to Ted DiBiase. I thought it was great. Like,
And then Ted walks away with Cameron, and he's like, "No, Ted."
Oh yeah, that was the best thing when I saw Cameron Grimes come out. I'm like, "Woo, he's gonna take DiBiase to the moon," and he did.
Yeah.
Poor LA Knight.
So good.
What's the line
Bishop.
he has about the truth or whatever, or the
That's not an insult. That's just a fact of life.
fact of life? Yep. So that's what I say to you, LA Knight, when Cameron Grimes when it's a fact of life.
Yeah, that's awesome. I do feel like he forces that sometimes. It's not an insult. It's a fact of life. Sometimes he says something before you're like, well, it didn't sound like an insult. But then he like lays in the other line. Oh, okay, well, fine.
You're so snarky. It's great.
Yeah. Bishop does say Jake Atlas is never disappointed on TV. Loved his Pete Dunne and Kushida matches as well. Yeah. No, he's had some great stuff. But this is really cool. I know Jake Atlas put out a tweet or an Instagram post or something about how important it was for him to win on the first day of Pride Month. It meant an awful lot to him and to, I guess, his community he's representing. But I just thought that was cool. And, like, who better? Who better than with LA Knight? So, really dope.
Yeah. I hope, if I'm wrong and he already has one, then, cool. But I hope that they have a Pride Month shirt for Jake, and cool. Proceeds go to whomever, because I know on the indies he did have he had a Pride shirt as well that he had sold. It's like one of my favorites, and I blinked it too because it's rainbow. It was pretty. So.
Yeah. Let's see. I really liked LA Knight crying. Let's see. After that, so Karrion Kross comes out and says he wants to defend his NXT championship against everybody. And then Adam Cole comes out. And Adam Cole fucking cuts this promo. Was this promo in the Hulu version, Klump?
No, did not see the Adam Cole promo.
Oh my God.
Yeah, it was basically 3 matches.
Wow. And so you didn't see Adam Cole in the ring with Karrion Kross?
No, yeah, that I did see, yes. Where he came out, threw the cup of water at them, and just looked like a petulant child. Yeah, I was really annoyed with it. I liked Karrion Kross. Karrion Kross could talk. Karrion Kross looked super intense. Adam Cole, I want to dislike it, but I also feel like as a positive, it fits his character so well to have done what he did.
Right.
He is not somebody who backs it up by fighting somebody way bigger than him. He is a petulant kid.
Yes.
But he does it better than the Young Bucks do. So him throwing water and standing up like, okay, I like this. This makes sense. I don't like you, but I feel it like in a different than like, okay, get the fuck off my TV screen. I think so. It made sense to me. I liked Karrion Kross. I think he's all there. He's on the mic. He's confident in the ring. He didn't look like an idiot, which was great. That's my view of it.
Yeah, I agree. With Adam Cole, I get real like HBK vibes, like early DX, like that kind of time frame of I'm protected. I can say and do whatever I want because the boss likes me. And so when he said shit like I don't lay down for anyone, and when he would make those fucking comments alluding to rumors that were going around backstage and stuff that would piss off the other talent and that would get them like little fines from USA, that he would do it with his attitude of, well, I can get away with it because Vince would never fire me. You know what I mean? And I feel like that's the attitude I'm getting from Adam Cole. And I'll be honest, back then, I did not like HBK. I hated him at that point because I was like, this fucking asshole. I'm getting that feeling from Adam Cole, and I think he's supposed to be the babyface in this. But I feel like he's an asshole who's just doing whatever he wants and saying. But I got that intensity from Kross. Totally. I was all like, dude, Kross might actually beat the shit out of Adam Cole because Adam Cole thinks he can get away with this. And I don't know that Kross is going to put up with that. You know what I mean? Which is really what I felt like.
Man, you know.
Yeah. Go ahead, Amanda.
Yeah, it was a size. Well, for me, it was that size difference, and you could tell like Cross just was like, I want to just fucking punch this dude and have him go flying across the room. Yeah. It was so intense. I mean, it made it great, and I think Scarlett too, with how she kind of was carrying herself in the background, too, kind of added to that intensity as well. I think. I mean, she is often forgotten, I think, but I think she added to it as well. Man. Adam Cole, I'm like, boy, yeah, you're kind of a little a dick, but you made your point come across. And I don't think I've seen Adam Cole like this in a while, where it's like something that's enjoyable to hear him with the microphone rather than, okay, same old shit. Even though, yes, this is same old shit, but the way he had kind of presented it, and to Cross, the way he presented it to him too, I think was pretty phenomenal. Yeah. So set up a lot of really cool shit. I'd rather personally, I don't care for the 5-way. I'd really rather see him and Cross, but I have a feeling we're going to get that at some point.
I kind of hoped in the beginning of the match, Cross just like legit super power bombs Adam Cole, and he's just out of the match the rest of the match. Like, just like wrecks him right away.
Let him do that to Gargano.
Pinky says bling everything. She also says that she liked the that's not an insult, that's just a fact of life. She liked, yeah, LA Knight's good. But yeah, I don't know. There was a lot of people online saying that Adam Cole absolutely destroyed Karrion Kross in this promo and made Adam Kross look foolish. I didn't feel that way. I felt like Kross was getting like, it looked like he was getting like fucking legit pissed, and I was like, Kross is a dude who's willing to just fucking fight. Like, you can say all you want, but at the end of the day, like, he comes off so intense that it's like, all right, well, I'm mad now and I don't want to talk anymore. I want to break you in pieces. And you're like, oh, that's not as fun. You know what I mean? Like, I was like, oh, I thought we were just gonna call each other names for Al. Nope, I'm just gonna start beating you up now. Oh no, I wasn't ready for that part. I just thought we go back and forth. No, just punches, moving forward.
He's legit scary, Kross.
Yes.
You can be legit scary.
Let's see. After that, we had Kushida versus Carmelo Hayes, which it was Carmelo Hayes' debut match. And how good was this? Was it on Hulu version, Klump?
Yes, that was there, and yes, he looked great. And I didn't know that Kushida needed to give him that much, you know. But like, it would have been okay if it was a squash. But I appreciated what they did there.
And I think it worked because I think that Kushida has done very little squash matches to begin with. He doesn't come out like the type of dude who's just so strong he can crush a guy real quick, or that he has a single move that just destroys someone. He comes off as somebody who's just that skilled in the ring that he will wear anyone down and beat them. So I feel like it works. Like with Cameron Grimes early on, they established that double kick was just that strong. It just knocked people out. And you're like, oh, if he lands that, he's good as gold. They never established a move like that for Kushida. He would always wrestle someone down and then get a good submission on him. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I feel like that this works. Because I felt the same thing. I was like, wow, that match was way longer than you would have expected for someone's debut against a champion. And yet, Kushida doesn't look like any less of a champion. He looks like he's like, yeah, that's just my style, and you happen to be really good. You know what I mean? Amanda?
I agree with that.
Yeah, that's why I loved it. I think Kushida's so good, man. Everything he does is just incredible at this point. Amanda, anything on this match?
Well, very excited to see the man formerly known as Christian Casanova. And I am kind of excited that this because he was in that round of signings like earlier in the year, that you're like, oh my God, they're sweeping all the indie people again.
Yeah. And
I thought, oh, maybe we won't see him for a while, but it was a really pleasant surprise to see him. I thought that, man, there's a lot that they could do with him, and it was very promising. And, with Kushida, Kushida sometimes, has this ability, I think, to really make a lot of people like it works in some weird way. I don't know why, don't know how, but it just kind of it just works. It flows really, really well. I don't think I've ever really seen a match with someone where it was kind of awkward or anything like that, because it just flows. I don't know if it's just because of his style or if it's that connection that he has with who he's wrestling with, and they always end up seeming to bond. But I mean, it was really good, and I hope we get to see more of what's his name, something Hayes.
Something Hayes. Carmelo Hayes.
Carmelo Hayes.
Yeah.
I hope we get to see more of him.
Real quick, cheers to Leah Moonlight flying through real quick. It looks like she's streaming tonight too. She's a good follow if anybody does on Twitch. Leah Moonlight. Thank you for coming through. We appreciate it. Lurk all you like. Cheers. But let's see. Leah Moonlight started streaming stuff?
They did. Yeah, they stream mostly games.
Oh, any like, are they going through a specific game right now? Or do they just do
right now
different games all the
it's
time?
Remnant. They do Final Fantasy, Remnant. They'll do Kingdom Hearts. They do a lot. They do a lot of just kind of JRPGs.
Awesome. So yeah, give her a follow, guys. Leah Moonlight, Lea Moonlight. Great content. And a friend of the show. So cheers. Let's see. Anybody wants to ever join the chat, derail the show? We like to put you over. Since January she's been doing Remnant. Twitch.tv/Wrestling on the Rocks. You can come through the show while we're doing it live. Also on our Twitter at WOTR the show. We go live there too, and you can chat through there as well. But let's see. So yeah, I agree with all that. And I think Kushida's fantastic. And I was really impressed by Carmelo, so I'm happy to see. Well, not Carmelo. What is it? Yeah, it is Carmelo. That's going to be a problem. He can't go to SmackDown. You can't have Carmelo and Carmella. Yeah, no. That's going to be a problem down the line. But we'll see how it goes.
Yeah.
He'll end up being just Hayes. They're going to just like make it Hayes or Mello. No, they can't even do Mello because she goes by Mella. It's going to be like Car Hayes. After that was Candice LeRae, Indy Hartwell versus Zoe Stark and Zeta Ramir. There was a promo in here somewhere of Xia Li. Was that cut from the Hulu version? Klump, was it in the Hulu version, the Xia Li stuff?
Nope.
Oh.
Yeah, I'm like, man.
Ooh, that's why I stopped doing Hulu.
Well, and it's worse than like SmackDown or Raw. SmackDown's like a 90-minute version.
Yeah.
Or it's actually, I think it's close to full 2 hours. Raw, it's like a 90-minute, which cuts it down a bit. An hour of this, when you have this much extra stuff, kind of sucks. I appreciate them not cutting matches, but yeah, this is a bit.
Yeah, they're cutting chunks of stuff out. That's why we stopped watching the Raw Hulu version back when we used to. That's why I bought the Hulu, because Hulu would cut out every tag match and every women's match, and it was like clockwork. Yeah, if it was a tag match or a women's match, it was gone. And you're like, well, they would replay the opening segment because Raw would be like earlier tonight, and then they would go on to the next segment. They would replay every one of those earlier tonight. So there was one time I remember specifically, it was a Roman versus Brock thing, where it showed the whole Roman versus Brock battle, like their little brawl they had in the beginning of the show. And then because there was like a tag match, it went back to an earlier in the night, and then it had like one backstage segment, and then it went back to a earlier tonight segment again. And we're like, what is happening? And over half the show was recapping the original part of the show. And I was like, this is awful. They cut out so much. But let's see. Lee Moonlight in the chat real quick says, let's see, Kingdom Hearts, Final Fantasy VII, Hyrule. January is mainly Final Fantasy and Forager, but been playing a bit of everything lately. PS4, PC, and Switch. That's cool. And then Pinky says, does the USA app show the full episodes? And they do. He goes, I don't know where to watch from the UK.
Mm-hmm.
I got VPN I could use. I guess Pinky's not who I thought they were. Unless someone we used to work with went to the UK, which I guess is possible. But I thought it was somebody I used to work with, but I'm thinking not now. But VPN could...
Yeah,
it is.
They are.
Yeah. They moved to the UK. That's so dope.
Oh, shit. That's awesome.
Yeah, it's me. All right. Well, that was a huge time zone shift.
Yeah.
USA
Why
app
are you
does
up?
show the full. What? Yeah.
Why are you up? Why aren't you asleep? Like, no, don't.
Exactly.
No, we are the friend of insomnia.
Yes.
Shout out to
But-
Justin, who's been on with us. That's a late
Yeah.
time.
Justin stays on, and he'll stay late and do the show with us, and he's like, I got to be up in like an hour. I'm like, dude, go. But
Jesus.
and then we had someone in here from Japan for a while, which was cool. But they do show the full episode on USA app, not on the Hulu app. The USA app can be spotty, the audio can freeze, so it's not the most ideal situation, but it's what we've been doing. And the weird thing about the USA app is sometimes it might take a day or two to show up, which is really weird. Now, for me, it's not so bad because if I can, I'm going to watch the show before we go on to like the day of as well. So it's like, all right, well, I'll catch it. And it's usually on by then, especially because NXT's on like Tuesdays now. So it's like I get 2 days to try and catch it anyhow. But yeah, if it's on the next day, then yeah, you can catch it on the USA app.
And Peacock still has not updated.
Hmm.
Yeah. Almost 2 months. It's 2 months now.
Yeah, but that's what Peacock does. Peacock is the old network, and the network was always 1 month behind
Yeah.
Really?
on everything except for NXT and NXT UK. So yeah, it was always 1 month exactly. Let's see. Pinky says it's about 5 a.m. here. I'm nocturnal. Oh yeah, she's like a sugar glider. It says yeah, it's 4 a.m. Leah Moonlight's got 4 a.m. where they are. Jeez, man, this is dope.
Really?
They had friends over there playing EU server, and it's +8 for daylight savings. Or unless Leah Moonlight's just saying in general it's 4 a.m. out there.
Yeah, they typically play on European servers for their games. So like they're up usually all night. I'm like, okay, I can't do that.
Yeah. Awesome. Well, we appreciate everyone coming through and hanging out, having a drink with us. Cheers to that. Going through them. But yeah, so there was a really cool vignette with Xia Li, and the whole thing was mostly in Chinese, and it was a whole breakdown of Xia Li saying how she's been waiting to get her revenge against Martinez, because Mercedes Martinez is the one who knocked Xia Li out of the Mae Young Classic when she made her debut. It was a pretty cool story they put together there. I was really surprised by it. She was saying she brought dishonor on her family and stuff. Like, it was crazy. I was like, oh, shit. Which made a ton of sense.
Yeah. It was great.
Yeah, go ahead, man.
I mean, shit. It
it was
made
so
me
good.
go back and think. Yeah. I mean, it was so good.
Me too.
Shout
and I
out
love
to
that they did it this way.
Giancarlo Dietmar. Those guys doing those vignettes.
Yeah, Giancarlo's the dope. But yeah, they I thought it was so smart because as soon as she picked Mercedes, I was like, why Mercedes? This doesn't make a ton of sense. And they literally put together a package where she's like, this is exactly why. And you go, that makes a ton of sense. Like, so it was just awesome. It's insane.
I have a question.
Yeah.
Do you think we'll find out who what's her bucket is?
Tian Sha?
Tian Sha? Mm-hmm.
I think short answer no. I think that the whoever's portraying Tian Sha will remain that. I think there will be a kayfabe split there.
Mm-hmm.
I do really think it's Karen Q.
Yeah. I
really do. The more I see, like, the more they get little more close-up shots here and there, and the more she's posting online under her own account, and she's looking good, she's looking healthy, she's not in a cast anymore, looks like she's working out again. She's been taking pictures clearly at the Performance Center with Xia Li and stuff. Like, I feel like that it's her, but I don't think they're ever going to give us that confirmation. And I'm glad they don't. They shouldn't. There's no reason to.
So we're not going to see her wrestle or anything.
I think we will see her wrestle, but I don't think they're going to say Tian Sha, also known as Karen Q. You know what I mean?
No. Mm-hmm.
I think that's just who she is, and I think she's going to keep those two accounts separate online, and I think it's dope. I think it's crazy cool. I love stuff like that. This is the exact opposite of what we were just talking about on AEW.
Exactly.
Lee Moonlight says she pulls all-nighters all the time.
Yes.
Yeah, dishonor on the family is intense, man. She comes out there with a sword. And there was a Frankie Monet vignette. Not a vignette. She was like reading tweets, positive tweets, and then saying she was going to. Just that she was just getting started.
Mm-hmm. That dog, so cute.
Yeah.
A little Pomeranian. So.
I don't like any of the Indy Hartwell, Candice LeRae, Dexter Lumis stuff that they've been doing. Although I do think Candice has been
that
doing
was
really
weird.
Good.
It's getting weirder and weirder.
Mm-hmm.
And more childish. It feels like it's written and acted by children.
Yeah.
Yes.
80s love ballads. Come on now.
Yeah. 100%. I do think Candice was awesome in this match. Candice and Indy against Zoe Stark and Zeta Ramir.
Mm-hmm.
I thought Candice looked awesome in this match. I thought Zoe and Zeta, actually everyone looked good, but I thought that Candice was really doing a lot of work in this.
Yeah. Candice really spearheaded that match.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. And I think that's what you want out of like people who are, that indie talent that have been around for so long. And I think that's where like going, so like when Candice was training with Johnny and you're training the AEW kids out in Cleveland. Because actually the product of them is Britt Baker.
Yeah.
Is one of their little proteges. So I think that with Candice, she's just amazing. So for her to kind of guide all those ladies, it was really good. It was some good stuff.
Yeah, it was cool. And I like Candice's attention to detail. Like the fact that she leans into this whole like poisonous pixie thing, and she does this really like this weirdly delicate movements with her hands and stuff. And like even the way she like goes to touch her belt, she like almost kind of like taps it a little bit. Like it just flutters on it. Like it's just neat. I watched it, just made me laugh. Was this match on Hulu, Klump?
What was the match?
Indy and Candice.
Nope.
Against Zoe and Zeta.
Nope.
They did make a Corey and Topanga reference on commentary, and Wade Barrett said he had never heard of them.
That is worth it. That alone, I would love to watch.
It was.
But yeah,
Dick.
I'm sorry. I'm not trying to be an asshole. I'm like, I'm realizing I missed a lot more show than I thought I missed. Because I even watched like a YouTube video of like, what did I miss on NXT? And they kind of just went over everything I saw. I was like, okay, cool, I'm good. So did this asshole watch the Hulu version?
I think that asshole watched the Hulu version. Nothing wrong with Hulu, but you know what, Hulu? That kind of sucks.
Other than you having Futurama, there's not much I like about you, Hulu and King of the Hill.
Yeah, Hulu can be a big issue. Guys, let me know if our sound is still on, if our sound's going good, our screen's back on. Technical difficulty while producer's asleep, so I had to fix it off screen. But
you can hear. I can hear you.
I can hear you, but I just want to make sure the chat can hear us. Because if they
heard producer snoring for a minute.
Okay, sounds good.
Oh,
did you? Good. Very good. Well, we're back online. Everything's good. Everybody's calmed down. It's only the episode 1. No big deal. They did show one more vignette of Diamond Mine, but I missed it because we were talking about it last night about how we haven't seen a Diamond Mine commercial in a bit. But I'm definitely reading a note that it definitely happened and I missed it. So I'm like, okay, well, at least they're.
How did I miss that?
I think because it just looks like a commercial. It's easy to not see.
Yeah.
They do such a good job of making it look like it's a commercial for something that you just kind of go, Shout out to Josiah Williams for the Diamond Mine. For NXT was Giancarlo. He did okay. Yeah, Josiah Williams no longer with the company. He did a lot of the music and stuff, and he was doing some of the digital editing. Let's see. I guess it brings us to the main event. I'm looking at the stuff. That's where we're at. NXT Tag Championships, MSK versus Legado del Fantasma, and it just didn't disappoint. Why would it?
Yeah, it was a great match.
Yeah, Klump hit it.
It was a good way of having like a match with like outside interference, where it did ruin the fucking match.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it was like the outside interference was happening. It was creating a chaos outside of the match. It didn't feel like it was making a big difference on the match. It felt like it was moving stories around with the characters. Does that make sense?
Yeah. I agree with that. I think it was all the characters made sense. All the people getting involved made sense. The action in the ring was good, and the way that the people got involved, it wasn't where like I feel at times AEW almost focuses outside of the ring, or they feel like they're competing against the in-ring action. Whether it be like some member of the Elite or the Good Brothers fucking with a match, or it's the Gun Club just shouting bullshit.
Yeah. No, I agree, and I don't know that I have a lot to say about this match other than there was a bunch of shenanigans on the outside, but it did not interfere with the match. It just kind of created a feeling of a lot of importance around tag teams in NXT.
Yeah,
and it felt like it created an importance with Bronson Reed and Escobar. So it feels like it's pushing Escobar into the North American title scene, which is fantastic, and elevated the idea of all the tag teams being main event players in and of themselves. So I don't know. Like I said, didn't disappoint. I mean, I don't know how you can critique an MSK and Legado del Fantasma match and not just say, perfectly done. You know what I mean? Like, what else is there to say?
Yeah, I mean, I love where they're setting up everything. I mean, it was like almost near perfect. I mean, it's something that that does deserve to be a main event. And I think I said on episode 1 that their tag team division in NXT, I think, is probably the best one out there.
Yes. Yeah.
Hands down.
I think they do such a good job with it. Yeah, it's fantastic. Yeah. So I don't have a lot else to say about it other than we have a couple matches set up for in your house. I'm not overly excited about those matches in and of themselves, but a lot of this other stuff going on is really cool. I hope MSK hold those titles for a real long time. I'm going to be honest. Yeah. Is there anything else left on the show that you wanted to touch ground on, Amanda?
Well, you're not excited for Cameron Grimes and LA Knight? That's probably the only one that I'm like really like, oh yeah, and then just seeing Cross kind of murder everybody. But other than that, I'm like, oh.
Yeah, okay. That's right. I forgot that they did announce that one. That one I did say, okay, that's for me. That's the one I'm watching for.
Yeah, that's me all the way. Yeah. So we're gonna see a Lamborghini or a Dodge Viper, maybe. Maybe, I don't know. I mean, who knows? I mean, that'll be really, really cool.
Fighting for the love of Papa Ted DiBiase.
Papa Ted. Oh my God, Klump. LA Knight, just to go back to that, it was just hilarious how pathetic he sounded. Ted.
Ted.
Yeah.
Kind of crying.
Yeah. It was so great. He's such a sucker. I love it.
Klump, anything else you thought we missed on NXT?
I mean, you guys got more than I did by a lot. So no.
It's crazy.
I just
want to make sure there's nothing that you were like saying like that you watched, and so I definitely want to say this thing or not. And if you got make sure you got the opportunity to do that.
Yeah. No. I mean, the only other thing I got, like I said, I was going to throw this out. Suns up 20 points.
Ooh. Is it over, or is that just where it is?
Halftime. Suns up 20 at halftime. If they win, the Suns are going to be in the playoffs, and the Lakers are not.
Oh, ooh. LeBron will cry. I love LeBron crying.
Ooh.
I like LeBron. I saw years of that.
That's not even the meme. The meme is Michael Jordan crying.
Yeah, but LeBron crying up here. Remember, Golden State Warrior country up here.
Oh, yeah.
Mm-hmm, yeah.
Yep.
Fair LeBron enough, crying is great. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
All right.
We get those.
All right.
Mm-hmm.
Well, guys, I think we did it. I think we talked about a lot of good stuff. I always like our Thursday shows. I feel like we really get into it, and we did talk about a lot of stuff a little bit. We, as much as we try to keep it light, I feel like we get into the more serious stuff, the deepest, which is really fun. I really like it. So we are the dive bar of the IWC, so it is important that we have our drunken tirades about what's happening in the Twitter sphere, as they say. Guys, if you're ready for last call, I'm ready to wrap it up. What do you say?
Let's knock it out.
Yeah.
All right. Well, guys, don't forget to go to noowave.co, noowave.co, and use that promo code CHEERS for an additional 10% off the already crazy deal that they have on that bag of coffee right now to try New Wave coffee. It promotes energy, focus, and mood for productivity and creativity. And I'm a really big fan, and they're sponsoring the show. So if you help us by helping them, everybody wins. If you like coffee, you're going to like this coffee. If you like us, you're going to like it even more. Guys, we are at WOTR, the show. I am at Ref Marsh. That is at Crybaby Klump. Send him all the DMs of all the dirty stuff. He doesn't check. And that, on the other side, is at Amanda Jane with a Y. Guys, we'll be back on Tuesday for another episode 1 here at Wrestling on the Rocks, guys. That's last call. Cheers.
Hey, producer lady here. Thanks for tuning in. Continue to support us or buy us a drink by following and putting the I in subscribe on Twitch. Or subscribe and review our podcast on Apple Podcasts or wherever you listen to us. Cheers!
I would never have a drink with Wrestling on the Rocks.